What's up, everybody? How we doing today? Your boy Ghost here. So, it's that time. We've been hyping it. We've been talking about it. We've been showing advertisements. We've been showing you these beautiful cars. GT45 Gaming here, everybody. We're in cooperation with DMJ Vroom Room here today. We're presenting the, what we want to call the Over the Pond Challenge, I think is what we're leaning towards calling this here, as we were just brainstorming this morning. And so what's happening, ladies and gentlemen, is we've taken the top 7 drivers from the CVC DMJ League over in the United Kingdom, and we're putting it up against the top 7 drivers from the North American division Choose Your Weapon series that just happened here over the last couple of months at GT45 Gaming. And we're putting the 2 teams together in a 2-race cumulative points championship showdown, ladies and gentlemen. So we've taken the 14 top drivers from DMJ, and we're putting them on track against each other. And don't think for a second, ladies and gentlemen, that we're not in for a treat here today. I mean, we got the 14 best of the best drivers in DMJ that are going to be racing against each other here today in a team style event. So what do we expect to see today? Well, you know, it's hard to say. We should see some team strategy coming into play here. We should definitely see some we should see the United Kingdom side and North American side. You would think we should see some working together, some slipstreaming, you know, all that kind of thing throughout the race. So this is going to be a really fantastic race. We're really excited about it here at GT45 Gaming. I know over at DDOT, he's super excited about it. I know DMJ's super excited about it. The North American guys are pumped. I have been in chat with these guys all morning long. We've been in the practice lobbies. They've been working their butts off. And, whew, it's going to be a good one, guys and gals. It's going to be a good one. So, DDOT is in the comments box here tonight with us as well, ladies and gentlemen, as soon as we get that sorted out, as soon as I get myself in there. And we're just going to have a great time today here. So we got 2 30-minute races for you here today. We have one at Trial Mountain with the Group 3 Aston Martin V12 Vantage. And we have a race at Interlagos for 30 minutes with the Group 4 C7 Corvette, as you guys see here on screen. And if I take my ugly mug off the screen here, you guys can see the car. So you guys are just coming in and smashing that love today. And just super appreciate it here. Give me 1 second here. I can't... trying to get my audio sourced out. This is kind of a new thing for the page here, as well as we're going to be running over on Discord here today, so the audio might be a little bit different. And for some reason it won't let me join into his chat. Okay, well, we'll sort that out. We will sort that out, ladies and gentlemen. So, D.90 is going to be our host here for the evening. We're just waiting for the official lobby to go up, which should be up here in just a couple minutes, ladies and gentlemen. So the way this is going to work is the lobby will open up 5 minutes before qualifying starts. That's going to give all the drivers a chance to jump in on track. The drivers are then supposed to tick into the race, but they're not allowed to put the cars in the pit lane yet, or they're not allowed to go out on track at all. Hey chat, how's it going, everybody? What's up? Hello. Am I in the chat, D? Because I can't find it. And it's not taking me to a chat, it just keeps taking me to your live streams page in your Discord. Hello everybody over at D.90's page. I'm having a little bit of a getting into the audio issue with D.Dot here just at the moment, so I am working on it. There we go. That'll work. There we go. Now we gotcha.
Audio out. Sort audio out. You good anyway, bro? How we doing?
Good. How about you? I got you now.
Yeah, I'm not too bad, Ty. Am I loud enough? Am I quiet? Am I too loud?
I'm not sure yet. We'll let the viewers decide.
No worries.
Just let me know, guys. We're viewing it on the page here how the audio is sounding. Again, and this is I haven't fully tested the Discord audio yet for the stream, so please don't hesitate to let us know how it's going. I was just explaining to viewers kind of how things are working here. So we're supporting MacMillan Cancer Support. Most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, we are supporting MacMillan Cancer Support today, as always, here at DMJ. We're always supporting a great cause, and today it is MacMillan Cancer Support. So, you guys know the drill, man. That pink little button at the bottom of the Facebook stream here at GT45 Gaming, smash that button. Takes you to a safe, secure website so you can put your information in and make a payment how you choose. And if you're able to make a donation today, you're absolute angels from heaven. We massively appreciate it. You'll get your shout out on stream as well. If you're not able to make a donation, we totally understand, ladies and gentlemen. Just being here, hitting those reactions, watching the stream, and just hanging out with us is also much more than enough support as well, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you so much for tuning in, and we're in for a good race today, chat. We're in for a good race today.
I'm going to open the lobby right now, so everybody, if you're jumping in, please jump in at the lobby. The lobby is open. Lobby is open, guys. And like we say, all drivers, if you could just possibly jump in, stay on track, and wait until GT45 Gaming says go, qualifying will start.
Alright, just give me audio
so GT45 Gaming, obviously our representative over there in North America with DMJ Vroom Room. How do you think the North American drivers are going to face tonight? I mean, it's been a tight whole season over there, hasn't it?
It has been.
Guys in North America and the choice of weapon. You know, I mean, how do you think it's going to pan out tonight?
Well, depending on which drivers hit the track, I think it's going to be interesting. No, we might have one of our drivers not make it last second here, so thankfully we've had a driver on standby all week long practicing with the team, so he's going to step in to fill in for the driver that's not going to make it here today, I believe. But I suspect the boys have been practicing all week long. They've been working together. They've been developing their tire strategies and their fuel strategies, obviously, much like I'm sure the guys on the UK side have been as well. So I do expect to see the North American guys work together as a team, and if one feels like they're holding up one of their teammates, I do suspect to see that teammate let the faster teammate go by and stuff like that, and just try to keep the train moving for the North American side.
Yeah, I know that obviously with there being quite a few bugs on GT7 as it sits, I know a lot of these drivers have potentially not been on it as much as what they possibly would have liked to have been on it. But it's going to be very interesting to see what does go on tonight. You know, you can start seeing these guys now getting in the cars. I mean, they're risking having cold tyres, but, you know, Cartier West has just joined, bro.
Oh, excellent. Okay, so Cartier has made it. I wasn't sure if Cartier was going to make it, so...
GT45.
That is beautiful. Awesome. Glad to see it. Glad to see it.
Yeah, so that's all sorted, mate. That's all sorted.
Beautiful.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna let you give your North American drivers. Well, I'll tell you what, since you just joined the lobby, I'll give the UK drivers a shout out now. So representing the UK tonight, we have Lone Wolf Racing Millerman. He's one of the founders of this, alongside DMJ Vroom Room. He's one of the creators of DMJ Vroom Room as well. He's an ambassador as well as being a design guru as well. You've seen him in championships driving alongside the other DMJ drivers as well. We've got Vantage NL, we've seen him driving the SFs, we've seen him driving Choose Your Weapon as well as being alongside DMJ Vroom Room since pretty much the very start. Same with George Marge, the Greek god, we've got him representing us tonight here in the UK from the Choose Your Weapon Championship. He doesn't need no introduction, I think we all know what George Marge is all about. We've got Green Mamba as well, aka Phil G, who's going to be pushing it to the max as well. He's a fantastic driver, and listen, this guy is going to be putting pedal to the metal. He's already been practicing all week. And we have the silent assassin with us tonight, ladies and gents. He's not been in the last championship. He's took a little bit of a break, but he's back, and he's back with a vengeance because he is a choose your weapon champion. So Britsberger, he's here tonight, and he's definitely going to be improving a point. And it's the same with Miggins, aka the Punisher. This is an absolute fantastic lineup that we've got here at the UK. But last but not least, guys and girls, we have got the Vroom Room himself. The sponsors are in here tonight representing the UK as they do in our championships as well. We've got 2 minutes, so GT45 Gaming, I will let you introduce your drivers as well. And yeah, I'll let you know when we're going to race.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so this is coming right straight from the standings over here from the North America Choose Your Weapon Series Season 1. And right off the top of our list is our Season 1 champion, GVG Jake, who you see on track as Apex Jake, as he's just recently joined a different racing team. He raced very, very well all season long, and he's probably the top dog over on the North America side, the guy to really watch out for here today. He's got some pretty good pace and practice, so he's going to be out to try and take top spot for sure. We have second place's Apex Badass on the season as well in the race today. He has been an extremely consistent driver all season long. He's very, very patient and just a very good, solid, calculated driver. So expect to see him definitely pushing near the front of the pack, I think, today. We have our third place finisher, Spec 1, who also goes by the nickname Punisher, funny enough, actually. And he is a very solid driver. He is racing on a brand new set of pedals currently here, so he's gone to a load cell upgrade. So he has been struggling a little bit with those pedals. So he's not feeling very comfortable with this particular track we're starting on here today, but Spec 1's a very good driver, so never count him out either. And then moving down the field, we do have Tattooed Freak, who finished, I believe, 5th place in the season as well. And also, again, just a very calculated driver, very patient, very calm, and just tries to make good calculated decisions on the racetrack. And of course, he is the designer of our North America side liveries here today as well. So yeah, just a huge shout out for that. They look absolutely amazing. All the cars are looking great here. And then we have Egon, who finished in 8th place in the standings this season. Our 4th place driver was unable to make the race here today, so Egon is stepping in for our 4th place driver in the standings. And Egon has been Mr. Consistent all year long. He is very, very consistently that 5th, 6th place driver all season long. So I suspect
qualifying starting, bro.
Awesome. That's what we love to see.
Keep going, keep doing your thing, though. I'm just letting you know.
Absolutely. And then we have Cardi US, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Cardi US is a Facebook streamer as well. He's a very quick racer. He missed 3 races this season and still finishing very high in the standings. So he had the potential to chase GVG Jake down for that championship this season if he was able to make all the races. Unfortunately for Cardi US, he just unable to make a couple races due to the fact that his wheel broke, actually, and it cost him the last couple of races of the season, which knocked him down in the championship standings. He's definitely going to be a guy to look out for. He is going to be wanting some redemption here at DMJ today. Get that win. Cartier's always a driver to look out for here anytime he's on the racetrack. So expect to see him really pushing through the racetrack with the team here today. And then, of course, last but not least, we do have LJ Super Ninja, who is just a 16-year-old young man, ladies and gentlemen, and has the race pace of a 30-year-old and the absolute calm and patience of a professional race car driver. He is quick. He's very, very good. And the North American side was very, very tight in the standings all season long. These guys were separated by just a few points from 1st to 7th place. And it's not going to be much different here today, except these guys aren't racing each other. They're racing with each other. So it's going to be really, really interesting to see what both sides come up with, as we're with Blitzberger right now actually on screen. And those United Kingdom cars done by Mr. Millerman look just amazing, ladies and gentlemen. Let's kick you guys over to the live screen here so you can see what we're talking about now. So we are at race 1, ladies and gentlemen. We are at Trial Mountain, and as you can see, we are in those beautiful Group 3 Aston Martin V12 Vantage cars. These cars are quite fun to drive. They sound pretty cool. And these drivers are going to have a little bit of their work cut out for them with these cars when the tire wear starts to settle in. Now, this is from me just practicing with the guys on track, some personal experience. What we're going to expect to see here, these guys are going to start off flying But as those tire wear really starts to settle in, going into certain sectors, sector 1 and 2 especially here at Trial Mountain, you're going to see these guys having to slow down a little bit because those tires aren't just going to hold the road the way they need to take those corners. So the driver's going to have to really be on point, especially in the early sectors here at Trial Mountain as those tires start to wear down. Medium soft tires are required here as always, ladies and gentlemen. There are tire requirements here at DMJ, and our fuel and tire settings are both at 4 times consumption and wear. So fuel and tires are very definitely going to be factors in the races here today. And we see guys now jumping into the pits there. They're getting on some fresh rubber here. And it's going to be interesting to see. Now, I know Cartier West from watching Cartier West all season long, chat. He tends to just take his time in qualifying, sit behind everybody, burn off the fuel in his tank, and then he just goes for that one really good hot lap. So that's pretty much what we're going to see from Cartier, I think, here today. Typically, that's what we always see from Cartier when he's qualifying. So we're still on our out laps here, ladies and gentlemen, so it will take a couple of minutes for the field to start to settle out. We got one driver going a little bit wide there.
Bro.
Pardon me?
Just looking at the grid now, bro, and I mean, if you're looking at the driver standings now, you've got the United Kingdom guys in the top 7 now, but they're not actually quite close together. So early stages, we're not really seeing much teamwork there from the UK drivers. We're starting to see them go into the pits, and I mean, if you just look at the map as well, there is a nice little cluster of cars, but there's not much real teamwork going on as we see right now. We're starting to see cars stretch out. I mean, if they can start burning a bit more fuel, and like I say, we've got, what, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, well, 6 minutes remaining of qualifying. But if these guys can start getting together and start getting more compact as the team, like Badass and Jake are doing now.
It's funny you just said that, because that's exactly what I'm watching right now. And we actually see Cartier coming up on these guys here as well. Yeah. So,
you know, this is a early sign. Apex and Badass right now are probably the 2 drivers that I would potentially keep an eye on going into this next lap to complete the outlap. But I mean, you know, like, not much teamwork going on right now as far as the UK drivers thingy. But you can see Mickey's coming in with the fastest lap, bro. I mean, what's your take on it?
Yeah, right now we're not seeing that team aspect that I really did expect to see early on here. So it'll be interesting to see how that develops, I guess, moving into race time. Maybe things will change once the race starts to settle in, but we're definitely not seeing really anybody except for Badass and Jake there working together to try and improve the lap times here. Barge is on his own there as well.
It's going to be interesting. I mean, we're starting to see laps coming now. I mean, everyone been into the pits now and changed the compound tire at some point or other. But I mean, we've got what, 5 minutes? We'll just put 5-minute warning in chat.
5 minutes or so. Yep.
Just let them know.
I'm just gonna catch up on some alerts here real quick, deal. We'll be right back.
Yeah, no worries, bro.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I do apologize. Let me catch up on all these alerts. You guys are just smashing it out there today. I do apologize about the screaming alert. We shut that off as well. We got GT45 Gaming coming in to share. Jake coming in with the like. Scott coming in with all those shares. Absolute legend. Much love, Scott. Hope you're doing well. Ian Travers coming in with the like and the share. Madam Mel coming in with that like and the share. Danny McCain with the like. Nala coming in with the like. LJ coming in with the share. Paul Blomstrom coming in with that thumbs up. We got Chris Reeves coming in with the thumbs up and the share. We got Barreriu coming in with the thumbs up. I apologize if I said your name wrong, my man. Scott Milgill coming in with the 1,000-star bomb, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get a GG Scott up in the chat, everybody. Massive star bomb. Thank you so much, brother. Keep smashing it, bro. He says, let's go, boys. Work 'em silly, says Chris. Chris, love you, brother. Thank you so much for being there. All right, got a little cat up there. Got to make sure we're showing you amazing viewers all that love out there in chat, because you guys are the reason why this is possible.
No, yeah, bro, we appreciate it. We've just been on board with Brisberger to come in with the fastest lap, but now you're starting to see the Apex team come in on the run, and there's the 2 drivers we were talking about, bro. Apex Jake, Apex Badass there, coming in to take the top 2 drivers, and not much is in it at all. There's a whisker in it, and they've got right into the back end of Vroom Room as well, so maybe they're going to start applying pressure to this UK driver. And
ooh, and Badass losing the back end there. Woo! Still managed to stay with him there, though, so that was actually a really great recovery by Badass there.
It was really good recovery. I mean, the Punisher's been pushed down into 6th
Oh.
position right now.
A little bit of
As LJ
contact there between the two drivers as Badass got a really tight line going into the tunnel there, and Vroom Vroom just got a little bit on the center of the part there, and Badass just wasn't able to hold his line there, but both drivers seemed like they sorted it out there on track, so the drivers have got to be on point here, Chad. I mean, they don't want to be hitting each other. It's going to cause damage to these race cars, and once these race cars get damaged, it costs you time. I know I've tested with the damage on these cars to see how it affects these cars here at Trial Mountain, and it affects them quite significantly, actually. So the drivers really need to be on point. They need to be aware of their surroundings, and they definitely need to make sure they're using their radar here today, as the North American guys are quite familiar with racing each other, and of course the UK guys are quite familiar with racing each other. But as far as racing against each other goes as a collective group, there's going to be some unfamiliarities there. And these guys are going to have to feel each other's driving styles out as it goes here today. So they really just need to be on point. So
full engine damage from Britzberger as well. He's had to go into the pits. We're on 39 minutes. And this is about to come in for the last lap, bro.
that is tough.
So Britzberger there will probably be done now.
We got Egon sitting with a half-second penalty as well. Penalties are definitely going to play a factor here today as well. And we're not seeing one side really dominating qualifying here either today, ladies and gentlemen, which means we are in the makings for an absolutely epic race here at Trial Mountain today. Our drivers are very, very spread out as far as the teams go, as far as where they're sitting currently in qualifying. We're on last lap here, you said, D?
Yeah, final lap, but George Marge now coming in to take that fastest lap, bro, with a 150.1. He's just managed to keep Jake at bay. Now Jake there sitting in second with Badass in third. And Tad the Freak there is still pushing it. He's pushing it hard as well. He's going to be quite light on fuel. LJ now seems to be coasting around pretty happy with that 5th position. Green Mamba is still pushing it as well in 6th, with the Britzberger, the Silent Assassin for the UK's in 7th. Then we have a North American driver at our spec in 8th, with Miggins 9th right now. The Punisher seeming to be at a bit of pace tonight. It's going to be interesting to see what goes on when racing comes into it. Lone Wolf Racing Middleman in 10th. Egon is in 11th. Vantage is in 12th. Caddy Wes is sitting in 13th. Broom Room is in 14th. So that's the lineup as it sits right now. Some guys are pushing on the final lap.
I assure you, ladies and gentlemen, this will be the lap where we do see Cartier West push. So I do suspect that he's not going to remain in 13th place here today, just based off of what I've seen throughout the season. So this will be Cartier's one attempt at a really great time here at Trial Mountain. So, but George Marge, when the guys were asking me what the UK drivers were looking like earlier this week, this was the name that came out of my mouth first. This was the driver I told them they really needed to worry about, and he's proving it here today as he's currently sitting provisional pole going into race 1 here today for the United Kingdom drivers. So showing some great pace there. Jake just behind him though, 7/100ths of a second. So we're definitely in the makings for a great race. Badass is just a bit behind them guys as well. We're talking hundreds of seconds here, chat. We're not talking tenths, we're talking hundredths. And then we've got Tattooed Freak, who's 0.2 of a second behind that podium group. We got Green Mamba right there, 1/10 of a second. LJ's right there, 1/10 of a second, 2/10, 1/10, 100th of a second, 1/10. Our whole field is separated only by a couple seconds from front to back, ladies and gentlemen. So this is going to be a fantastic race here today. And we got Cartier coming right now. He's just coming through the final 2 corners here at Trial Mountain. Let's see what he puts in for a time here. He's on a great pace here. He's looking like he might be in that 150 range here, ladies and gentlemen. And he comes across with a 7th position. All right, so Cartier moving up into 7th place there. So we have a great little combination here. We got George Marge in provisional pole. Jake will be in 2nd for North America. Badass in 3rd. Tattooed Freak in 4th. All North American drivers. And then we've got the United Kingdom drivers, the Green Mamba there. North America's a Super Ninja and Cartier West. And then we've got the UK guys here as well. Vantage, Blitzberger, Mr. Millerman himself, designer of these amazing looking liveries. We have Spec 1 from the North America side. Megan's right behind. The 2 Punishers are starting right beside each other there. Egon starting for the North America side in 13th. And Vroom Room, our sponsor here, leading off the field, rounding out the field here in 14th spot. So we're just getting ready to go here, ladies and gentlemen. This race will kick off here in about a minute's time. And we're going to have 30 minutes of just intense, non-stop action. No worries, brother. I got your back. We appreciate you, Chris. DMJ appreciate
We've got
you.
Ian coming in with a donation to MacMillan Cancer Support with a €5 donation. Can we get a hashtag Ian, in both chats. Let's get it going, chat.
Absolutely.
In
Just get a
both
hashtag Ian up in the chat here, guys, at GT45 Gaming for that donation. MacMillan Cancer Support, €5 donation, ladies and gentlemen. Absolute legend he is.
There you go. We have started the race now, mate, and I've just been locked out until they get to the grid. So all you on this launch, bro. All you.
All right, so we're just waiting for that timer, and when we go, ladies and gentlemen, it is race time here at DMJ Vroom Room, proudly hosted by GT45 Gaming and D.90, and we are going to get this on. This is a false start, ladies and gentlemen, so these guys will have the lights, and we've got Mr. Marge on pole. We are going to sit on Mr. Marge here for the start of this race.
Billy coming in with a £5 donation to MacMillan Cancer Support. Can we get a hashtag Billy in chat as well? George Madge leading it.
George Marge is off, and look at these drivers, 2-3 wide right off the start here. We have just got a big pack of cars coming in here to turn one. Let's see if everybody makes it through safe. This is the big thing here, ladies and gentlemen. This is a tough sector at high speed, and George Marge is trying to get away from Jake very quickly here on these cold tires as well, ladies and gentlemen. But Jake and Badass are right there, nose to tail, pushing, trying to pull away from the rest of the pack themselves here. We've got, these guys are cruising. We've got Ninja in 4th, Tattooed in 5th. We've got Green Mamba in 6th. We've got Vantage in 7th, Spec in 8th, Millerman up in 9th. We've got Spec now down to 9th. Millerman making the pass there on Spec. So great move by Mr. Millerman there as well, taking 8th place from Spec 1. Spec 1 now.
Contact there from Green Mamba on the back end of Apex Badass there. Green Mamba on the medium compound does get a front damage and front tyre suspension damage there. 67th position now. And Badass did get a little bit of a boost from that.
We are seeing Badass with full suspension and front aero damage out of that incident as well. So that is going to be tough for these two drivers as they move through the field here now.
But Vantage now trying to make a move on the inside there of Badass. Is he going to make it lick and stick? These drivers body popping, gear dropping.
And I mean, yes, these guys are nose to tail, too wide through these corners, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we expect to see from the best of the best here at DMJ Vroom Room, ladies and gentlemen. And they are not disappointing very early on in this race. There is so much action.
Cardi Wes is 14th. He has got full engine damage, just exiting the tunnel as we speak right now. So he's 22 seconds back from Vroom Room. Ooh, got front aero damage.
And that is tough. That is tough for Mr. Cardi Wes. So he is going to have to hit the pits, and he is going to have to put the pedal to the metal here to try and catch this group. And these are the best of the best drivers. It is going to be very tough for Cartier West to catch up to these guys.
A bit of contact there as well from Egon. Egon goes into the back end of Miggins. Miggins has got back aero damage and front suspension and front aero damage as he goes into the back of Spec. But these North American drivers managing to keep it out of the damage. So the British drivers now picking up damage left, right, and centre.
Ooh, GT7's a different ballgame, ladies and gentlemen. These guys are not used to racing each other here on the GT7 physics as well. So we are definitely going to see some miscues. We're going to see some mistakes. I'm sure we're going to see some spins. We see Cartier West with engine damage, ladies and gentlemen, and that's not something we see too often out of Cartier West. So this is really anybody's ball game here today. Any driver could win this race. We have LJ now leading the race here in first place for North America, with Jake just behind.
Badass is right onto the back end of George Mars there, bro. But Vantage NL is also coming under pressure from Tad the Freak as well. He's right onto the back end of him. Spec getting a little bit loose there, though. A bit of oversteer on the power of the exit of that corner. But Slipstream is going to pay effect now, leading in 8-7. Oh, we've got a bit of oversteer there. Who was that? Somebody just oversteered out. I think it was Egon. Egon there did get a bit of oversteer.
He did, yes. He is on the left side of that tunnel there, just trying to stay out of the way of the traffic that's coming by him here. We see Vroom Vroom now on the outside of him here, essentially making that pass, and Egon just tucking into the slipstream. So Egon's struggling a little bit early on in the race here. And again, this car is very loose to drive. There's a very specific way to drive this car to get this thing to really hum around this track at high speed. And it doesn't like a whole lot of braking, so it acts much like a mid-rear engine car. You need to give this car a little bit of throttle under braking to really keep it stable so you can maintain that speed through your corners. And some of these drivers just struggling with that a little bit here today early on. But young race, ladies and gentlemen, we have plenty of time here to go yet still, as we're only 3.5 minutes in already. And I don't even know where to look, chat. I don't know where to look. It's crazy. This is crazy here today. LJ is starting to pull a bit of a gap here, but Jake is just trying to pull back into that slipstream there. So it's going to be interesting to see if Jake and LJ can hook up here and start working together to try and lose George Marge behind there in third place. But you see Margie now.
I don't think Jake will be able to, because Jake has got back aero damage, which will make him suffer through the corners. So through the corners there, George March should be able to pick him up. But it won't really affect his top end. It's more the downforce on the back end of the car going through the turns. You can see his car there getting a little bit oversteer from Jake. So George March is capitalising through these winding sections. But you know, if George could just sit into the back end of him through this next straight coming up, get into that slipstream, he may try and make a pass onto the next big sharp left-hand turner.
And the real tough deal, ladies and gentlemen, with these, especially with aero and suspension damage, is what it does to the tire wear on these cars as well. That's really going to affect the tire wear on the cars, and it's just, you know, it's just an extra X factor for these drivers to really have to deal with as the race progresses. It's just going to wear the tires down a little more unevenly. It's going to be a little bit harder for these guys when they're coming into their braking points and trying to get out on that throttle out of exit to keep the car square and moving the way they want it as well. So right now, Vantage back here in 5th place, I think, is sitting in a really good spot early on in this race as he's kept his car out of trouble. He's got no damage on that car, and the drivers up in front of him are fighting damage, and that is going to start to play in. And especially when these guys go into pit and do their tire change and do a fuel stop, whether or not they choose to fix the damage, I guess, is up to each driver. But that is going to cost them time in the pit lane, and the drivers that are clean with no damage on their cars are going to gain that time on these drivers in pit lane and maybe jump 2 or 3 positions in the process here. So strategy is going to start to play a really big factor early on in this race. As we see, Blitzberger is really starting to put some pressure here on Spec 1 in 6th place as well.
That's what I'm on board with right now. He's applying a little bit of pressure. I think a little bit of contact was made, but it was a baby nudge. There wasn't much in it. But I think that will make Spec start to wonder what's going on now. Blitzberger, the silent assassin, we do call him that for a reason. This guy can drive, he can put immense pressure on, as well as keep it cool, calm and collective. So it's going to be interesting to see what Blitzberger starts doing now, because he will start to put moves in. He'll start testing the driver, he'll work out where he's faster through the course, and then it'll take him a lap or two, but he will start to reel him in and possibly try and make a pass. That's what Blitzberger does.
And it may very well work on Spec 1 here today too. I was practicing privately with Spec last night. And he's not feeling very comfortable with this particular car track combo here today. So if Blitzberger can keep that pressure on Spec 1, it might be enough for Spec 1 to get that in the back of his mind and make that mistake, and Blitzberger can just get that easy pass done too. So you know, it's one thing to catch a driver, ladies and gentlemen, on a racetrack. It's a whole other thing to make a move around that driver on a racetrack as well. So it's going to be really interesting to see.
You can see Spec, though, he did get a nice clean exit out of there, and in doing so has extended his lead, got Blitzberger out of that slipstream and made him jump straight into Vantage's slipstream. Now, Spec is on the same compounder tyre as well as Vantage, so it's going to be interesting to see what these guys get. Oh, you can see there, Vantage trying to make that pass on Badass. Badass got a penalty there, but Spec is just watching all this go on. He's keep cool, calm and collective, and he knows purple sectors right now is... He's doing really well right now, mate, and I think it may be quite hard for Blitzberger, even though he does close him up. But Spec is playing it cool now. Spec is playing it safe.
He's a very calculated driver. He's a very smart race car driver. I've seen it a few times early on in the season, especially. He will wait till the last 6-7 minutes of the race to really start to make his push. So
we've got Richard Watt coming in with another $5 donation. I'm sorry, mate. To
no, absolutely. Let's get a hashtag Richard and Billy up in the chat as well for those $5 donations.
Nick Brewster, aka Ghost Viper, is in the chat as well. We appreciate you, Ghost.
We got Chris Reeves in the chat going, let's go, boys, let's go. He's cheering on his North American mates here as well, ladies and gentlemen.
So I'm going to jump back on board with LJ's managed to get a little bit of a gap now, bro. I'll call out the top 5, you call out the rest. So LJ now managed to get a 2-second gap over Apex Jake in 2nd position. We've got the Greek god George Marge, who's sitting in 3rd right now with Vantage Anel, who is a champion of the SF DMJ Vroom Room event as well. He's a champion in a few of our events, very fast driver, sitting in 4th. He's also on the medium compound. And you've got Badass there in 5th position with Spec right behind him. And then obviously Blitzberger Sasson right behind him as well. But we'll let GT45 go from there.
All right, we will definitely see Spec and Badass work together here. I know these drivers, they're very comfortable driving around each other, so expect to see these two work together here to try and push the remainder of the field. In 7th place here, we do have Blitzberger currently sitting with a half-second penalty as well, which is unfortunate as he's right behind those two drivers we were just talking about. We have Tattooed Freak sitting here in 8th place again with that aero damage, still holding a pretty decent spot. Megan's all over him, though. He is on the hunt here for that 7th place position. Sorry, 8th place position. Back in 10th is Egon, so he is starting to slowly make his way back up the field here as well. We have Millerman in 11th place with teammate just behind Green Mamba there, so hopefully those two can hook up and start pushing the field as well. We've got Vroom Room sitting in 13th place, and Cartier West rounding out the field. He was 42 seconds behind Vroom Room. He's now only 12 seconds behind, so Cartier is absolutely got the pedal down right now, trying to catch these guys.
I think that's due to pit stops, mate. If you look at Vroom Room now, you look at Green Mamba, they're now gone onto the soft compound, hardly any tyre wear. Same with Lone Wolf Racing Millerman. So they've gone for that early pitch strategy. You can see Egon still on the mediums, and Cardi is still on the mediums as well. So potentially, you know, that gap may change. The pit has come into play.
Absolutely, and I mean Cartier did start on the soft tire actually, so Cartier did switch over to the medium tire when he had to go in and fix his engine damage there. So he's actually technically made a pit stop as well already. So we'll see if he runs out on those medium tires, but he does need to get another I believe he needs to get another full lap in on those soft tires yet as well. So again, all DMJ season series rules do apply here, ladies and gentlemen. The drivers do have to use the required tires. They do have to use them for a full circuit lap.
Oh. We've got Spec and Vantage going at it. Vantage now took that third position off of Spec. So Spec now is sitting in fourth, and he's got George Mars right behind him. But Badass there is trying to tuck in on that inside line, trying to keep it nice and tight, which will give him a better exit through this next corner, which will lead him down onto the straight as well. So he's looking for that.
Yeah, he got a great exit there. He is right on the back of Marge coming into the tunnel here at Trial Mountain. That was a fantastic exit there by Badass. And George Marge took a great line through there as well. So we have some battles here for sure, ladies and gentlemen. These drivers are definitely want this, and we actually see Badass pushing Marge up the straight here, ladies and gentlemen. So we see a little bit of teamwork here just to try and catch back up to the guys in front of these drivers as well. And Marge, unfortunately, because of the overspeed from the push there, a little bit of overspeed taking that corner wide, but still managing to able to stay ahead of Badass here. So George Marge is showing some great skills, some great calmness behind the wheel here, fighting off Badass, holding that 5th pace position here, and actually starting to pull away from Badass a little bit there. So George Marge is clearly stronger in that final sector compared to Badass, and is definitely making full advantage of it and trying to get as much time from Badass as he can coming into this final straightaway here. But I mean, these top 5 guys are very close together. This is still anybody's game here. Top 6 even, ladies and gentlemen.
And you've got Britzberger in 7th with Tad the Freak as well in 8th position. Them two are starting to work together and use that slipstream to potentially catch that leading pack in Badass, George Marge as well. So, you know, we could have 8th and 7th position potentially coming into play as well as we lead through this next section. If these guys battle in front, I'm talking about Badass, George Marge and Spec. If these guys battle through this next lap, then potentially 7th position and 8th position, Britzberger and Apex, Tad the Freak could come into effect and potentially battle this out as well. I mean, pitch strategies are going to come into play. Oh, Spec, they're getting a little bit loose. Oh, Jake has spun it out.
Oh, no.
Jake has spun it out, and George Mars went through the ghost. He managed just to get through the ghost. But, Jake now, he loses
Jake
out
has
to
full
8
damage
points.
as well. He has taken full damage, ladies and gentlemen. He is 100% wrecked that race car. He has to limp that thing halfway around this racetrack here now and get that thing into the pits and get his crew working on that car. So really unfortunate for Jake, as that's going to put him in the back of the pack here for certain, ladies and gentlemen. So great call by D, be able to catch that, as we don't have live action replays currently in GT7, ladies and gentlemen. We do apologize. We want nothing more than to bring the action to you every chance we can, but unfortunately we just don't have those replays available to us currently in game. So LJ's got a very sizable lead here, 5.7 seconds in the lead currently right now for the North American division here. So looking pretty solid on those medium tires currently.
And with Jake making that mistake, though, has potentially made LJ's odds even better in his favour, as Vantage NL now in 2nd position won't have any help, won't have any slipstream if he did potentially catch up to Jake. And we all know slipstream, when you're working in pairs in cars like Spec and like Vantage are doing right now, it does play a major factor in racing. And with Vantage NL not having that little bit of a slipstream there from Jake, it will potentially give him less of a chance to catch LJ. You can see LJ now, he's gone from 5.7 to 6.1 second advantage through that section. So his odds now have gone really up for winning this race, Jake.
But we did say Vantage is in the best spot just a few laps ago, sitting there in 5th place with no damage on his car and good looking tires. And right now he's currently sitting in 2nd place, ladies and gentlemen. So Sometimes just taking it easy at a race start and keeping your car in the right place at the right time can pay huge dividends. And currently right now for Vantage, has got him sitting in second place looking very strong. Starting to pull a gap on third place driver Spec 1 here as well, ladies and gentlemen. So these drivers are just putting it all out on the line. This is anybody's game. We have a North America, UK, an NA, a UK, an NA, a UK. It is mixed all the way down the field. This is anybody's game, chat. This is really anybody's game. Tattooed Freak in 5th place, starting to catch up to this group here as well now. He's sitting in 5th place, so the battle for the podium is far, far from over here today in this race, ladies and gentlemen. We still have 15 minutes remaining. We're almost at our halfway point here, and these podium spots are not even close to settled here yet.
Well, I mean, Jake now has gone from 1st to 14th position. He's gone from the lead in the pack right to the back of the pack, but he's filled up his tank. He has got them soft compounder tyres on. And not only that, he's got Cartier West, who's just slid past him as he exits the pit. So potentially Jake and Cartier could work together. I mean, jumping on board with Cartier now, he's still on them mediums, and they're looking pretty well. So if Jake can get in front of Cartier, and Cartier can hang on with Jake, it will give Cartier a better chance going into the late stage of this race. We've just got about halfway through this 30-minute of race 1 as well. So can Jake start working his magic and move up the grid?
I think that's what they're doing right now. You see Cartier giving way to Jake. They're taking that outside line, letting Jake get by here. So hopefully a Cartier can do exactly what D-Dot was just saying and just tuck in behind Jake. And these two can hopefully push Blitzberger here, currently sitting in 12th places. He's just made a pit stop as well. And that gap is about 10.5 seconds, chat. So we'll have to keep our eye on that and see if Cartier and Jake are making any time up on the pack as the race progresses. But really unfortunate for Cartier and Jake, as both them suffering full damage here in the race early on today. And that's what I mean, ladies and gentlemen. The guys have to be on point. The track chain conditions here, GT7, are constantly changing. No lap is ever the same. The track temperatures are always different. You have tire wear, you have fuel consumption, you also have other race cars on the track. And just a whole new set of physics to work with. So these drivers are all on a very fair playing field here today, and that's the best part about this, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at all these fantastic cars that are on track now, looking absolutely magnificent, done by Lone Wolf Racing and Tattooed Freak, I do believe, who did them, bro?
Freak, yes, absolutely, Tattooed.
Fantastic liveries, fantastic designs. You can see the light starting to come on now from these cars. So, you know, the time of day now started in the afternoon, and with the concept of the new physics of GT7, like Ghost was saying then, GT45, and, you know, it's starting to come a little bit into night time, and those drivers are on warm tyres. The track conditions are getting a bit cooler. So, you know, these tyre wears are going to start feeling a bit different. So as the races go on, you may start seeing more incidents, especially from people that haven't already made incidents. So you never know. Jake, Conditions, Brixberger, Miggins, Green Mamba, Egon in 7th, Tattooed Freak in 6th. George is now in 4th position. He started in 1st. So, anyway, it's all to play for. And it's been some fantastic racing. And
Jake really did not wait around to let Cartier really tuck into that slipstream. Jake has just put the pedal down. He has shaved 4 seconds off of the 12th place driver, Vroom here. Well, just it's a minute ago since we looked, so Jake is absolutely pushing here. And he'll probably do that right to the end of the race, ladies and gentlemen.
You've got Vantage, who was in 2nd, and George, who was in 3rd, now gone into the pits, and Egon's now gone into the pits as well on the medium compound. So these will be coming out on a soft compound. Now we're just over halfway this race, so it's going to be interesting to see if these guys keep these compounds on for the remainder of the race. I'm guessing they will, as they've used the mediums, and they will be on the faster compound. So it's going to be interesting to see if anybody in the leading pack now, Badass, Spec, LJ, to see when they go into the pits to see where they all come out. I mean, this is where it's all happening now.
And we're just on board with Egon as he's making his stop here. We got George Marge in the pits as well, just coming out from his stop. We got Green Mamba in the pits now, making his stop as well. And look at these beautiful cars, ladies and gentlemen. They look absolutely fantastic here on track tonight. And we got Egon also now coming out of pit lane here. So we just had 4 drivers make their stops here. Unfortunately, I don't have different camera angles for you today because it's just not working for me. So hopefully we can sort that out for race 2. And Egon does come out in 9th place, so Egon losing a couple of positions in the pit stop there. That's actually not too bad. We got Blitzberger up into 10th here now. We got Vroom up into 11th. We've got Jake is now up into 12th because of the pit stop from Green Mama. So that actually allowed Jake to get back into the back end of this pack with those pit stops here. So Jake is now in a little bit of the mix with some of these guys. Maybe some drivers to slip with. And then we have Cardio S, who's just a few seconds off these guys. He has been pushing pretty hard. He had a 40-some second gap when he had damage, ladies and gentlemen. And he's knocked that gap down to about 8 seconds. So Cardio West has definitely been pushing hard here to try and catch up with these guys.
He's gone into the pits. Respect, bro. So this now the first, all top 3 drivers have gone into the pits. This is where it's going to be interesting.
I was just going to say, I suspect to see Tattooed also come in, as obviously all 4 North American drivers these guys are clearly on a very similar pit strategy here. So that's going to leave it up to Vantage to come around here and try to take P1 from these guys in pit lane as he's just starting to come around the final sector here. So let's stick on with Vantage here as he's coming around and see if he can get ahead of these guys in front in pit lane. And we just seen Marge, I believe, as well pop in there. Millerman pop into the pits there as well.
And it's going to be interesting though, because Vantage now is on. He's going to be on. His tyres are going to be a little bit more worn than these guys that are coming in and out of the pits right now. Through the later stages, so this could potentially really spice this race right up. But LJ does come out in lead, mate. He comes out top spot,
and he's still got a 5-second gap on second place driver Vantage here as well. So LJ has done everything he's needed to do to try and secure that gap, and it looks like it's worked for LJ. But we have seen Spec come out in 3rd place, and then George Marge has split up Spec and Badass as well as Megan. So Megan and George Marge grabbing a couple of spots on the pit stops by Badass and the North American group there as well. So Badass is falling all the way down into P6 here currently, with Blitzberger just behind him as they're coming through the first tunnel here at Trial Mountain. And it's a little bit tricky at night too, ladies and gentlemen. When you come out of the tunnel back onto the racetrack, it is so dark. It takes a second for your eyes to adjust, and if you don't have that muscle memory down, you could very easily make a mistake coming into that next braking zone and miss your braking point. And we actually see Blitzberger with some rear right suspension damage there as well on his car here. So I'm not sure what happened there, but hopefully that's not going to bother him too much there. Egon here has some front aero and suspension damage in 8th place as well. So some of these drivers are struggling with these cars a little bit here today. We got a great battle between Millerman and Jake right now for 10th and 9th place. They are side by side coming up the tunnel here. Who is going to get the position here, as neither one of them are giving an inch. And Jake does have the inside track, so he should be able to get this done. But is Millerman going to make a cutback here? He's looking at the cutback. He gets the power down. Is he going to get this done, ladies and gentlemen? On the outside, he gets the move done back on Jake. So what a response from Mr. Millerman himself. Jake makes the move coming up the straightaway. Millerman calculates it, cuts it back, and pulls the position back from Jake, taking 9th place, coming down the final sector into the start-finish line straightaway here. Fantastic job by both these drivers here, really showing their prowess on the racetrack. That was some spectacular racing, ladies and gentlemen.
I think you could just see Millerman's tyre wear just paying effect there. He's got fresher tyres on now, and I think Jake's are just starting to wear out a little bit, and maybe just squeeze yourself out of that position. And yeah, I had no choice but just give that up to Millerman due to tyre wear. But I'm looking right now at George Marge and Miggins. Miggins is on the medium compound. They are a little bit more worn. I mean, Miggins potentially now on a medium set. He could go out for the remaining stint on here. He could stay out for the long run. George has got a pretty fresh set of softs as well. I mean, Spec, he's on a fresh set of softs. You've got Vantage now, who's gone in a 2nd position. He's managed to get a 3.3 gap, so he's closed up on LJ. LJ there maybe looking after his tyres a little bit, so he can push it into the late stages. I don't know, but 5-second gap gone down to 3.3. It's all to play for now, and as you can see now, it's getting pretty much pitch black on track, and
it's getting very, very hard to see these race cars now. We're just seeing some headlights and some tail lights here as it has gotten very dark on track, which is just going to add to the difficulty factor here today, ladies and gentlemen. So George Marge coming around here in 4th place. You can see those brake rotors just lit up around that corner. Great shot by our cameraman there. And we've got Megan's here in 5th place, as Dee was just talking about there. And then just behind is Badass. And Badass is trying to close those 2 drivers up here. And Blitzberger is not far behind Badass here either. So
I think Badass will catch Miggins up. I think he will. Them fresh set of soft compounds will come into play. I think he will start closing that gap up to Miggins, especially as you go through acceleration onto main straights and braking points. So It's going to be interesting. Keep an eye out for Badass as he will try to catch up Miggins. He's not too far behind him.
And we still have Jake trying to catch Millerman there, but as Dee was saying, Millerman just does have the better tires right now, so Jake's in a tough position here currently right now with some pretty severe tire wear on the right side of that race car, and there's still about 7 minutes remaining of the race here, so he does need to start to think about those tires as the battles, I'm sure, are not over in this mid-pack as we see Tattooed Freak and Green Mamba starting to really close up for 11th and 12th place as well, ladies and gentlemen. And this is just, the field is just absolutely split here. The teams don't have a chance to work together because they're not really nose to tail here today. So we do see Cartier now has actually moved up into 13th position here. So he has gotten around Vroom here as well. So Cartier has at least caught the backside of the pack here. But both those drivers are a little ways off the remaining of the pack there as well. So
NL is still catching up, bro. We've got 5 minutes left of this race, and he's 2.7's back off of LJ Ninja now. So it's going to be interesting to see what goes on there.
Vantage at the pace he's running right now is going to be putting that pressure on LJ by the end of this race, ladies and gentlemen. We got Nick up in the chat with the fire up in the chat. Good job on the mic, guys, says Esther over on YouTube. Come on, badass, keep pushing, says Chris. Paul Twig coming in with the thumbs up, and Nick coming in with that thumbs up as well. You're all absolute legends. Thank you so much for hanging out, watching the best of DMJ. Really put it all on the line here today to see which division's better driver here. Oh, we got Badass and Megan's fighting here. Yeah, absolutely. And Blitzburger's not far behind these guys, so if these guys start battling real hard, it's going to give Blitzburger the opportunity to catch up to this pack as well. So let's see what happens here as we're coming up this straightaway here. You see Badass is going to sit on the outside line here. Potentially set up for a run down the start-finish line here is what it's looking like. He's going to look for a cut move here, but it does get blocked out by Miggins. Miggins seen the move coming and just blocked the line, so forcing Badass back on the outside coming into T1 here. So Miggins is playing very, very smart here. He's playing the right lines. He's positioning his race car beautifully here against Badass. And you can see these two are... there's no love here between these two as they're banging doors a little bit here coming up the straightaway, not wanting to give... Either driver wants to give each other an inch here. As they're battling for positions, so Miggins is doing a fantastic job at really holding Badass back here, but he does pick up a half-second penalty.
Both drivers getting a penalty, and that is going to let the silent assassin Britzberger do what he does best and possibly sneak into a position.
And he is right there.
This is why we call him the silent assassin.
He is right there, just waiting now. So, ladies and gentlemen, these guys are going to have to serve these penalties as a designated penalty serving zone here in GT7. And when these guys do serve those penalties, Blitzburger is most certainly going to have the run on these guys and have an opportunity to get ahead of both these drivers and leapfrog into 5th place. So we're just going to stick with Blitzburger here, as I believe the penalty zone's coming up not too far from now.
Yeah, you can see both drivers in front there, Apex, Badass, and Miggins not wanting to give this position up. And, you know, weaving and jiving all around the track there. And Britzberger, he did get a little bit of a slow exit out of that corner, but he's watching and he's waiting for this penalty to get served. And this is exactly why we call him the silent assassin. He picks up positions off of other people's mistakes, tries to keep it cool, calm, and collective, and he always brings up some good racing and something to definitely talk about. But Badass, again, a fantastic section through there, bro.
He did. He got around Miggins. Miggins got a little bit sideways out of the hairpin there and had to get control of his car there. So he did lose a little bit of pace on Badass there as they were battling. It was really unfortunate for Miggins there. And
he's just coming up his own now.
Yeah, we're just watching to see if Blitzburger is going to be able to leapfrog both these drivers here. As I would suspect he should, based off of where our penalty zone here is at Trial Mountain. So we see Badass serving his penalty there now. So Blitzburger does get ahead of Miggins there, and he is going to get right on the back end of Apex Badass coming into turn 1 here. So Blitzburger, ladies and gentlemen, is not done yet. We still have 3 minutes remaining, so there is a potential another battle here for position from Blitzburger. Let's go through our field real quick, see what's going on in the backside of our field. Is with Millerman is up into 8th place. We have Tattooed Freak in 9th. We got Egon sitting back in 10th. We got Jake now coming into the pits for with damage again, fixing that up. So that's going to be tough for Jake. We see Cartier is now up into P11, and I think Cartier has just taking it easy on his tires here. So you see him coming really slow through that sector. I don't think he wants to stop. And Jake now coming out in, still comes out in 11th place there, just ahead of Cartier. So, and Vroom rounding out our field here. So a couple of our drivers have been having some issues with heavy damage here today. But we are going to jump on with our leader, LJ here. who now has opened that gap up to 6.3 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. So I think LJ was just conserving his tires and maybe making sure he had the fuel to push the end of the race.
I've been watching LJ, mate. He's definitely been nursing them tyres. He got it down to that 3.5 second gap for Vantage, and then he just started to open the throttle. He started to open the car up like he was just starting to warm the oil up. After that pit that he did in, he wanted to get his engine re-going. He's now put his foot down, and you can see a 6.5 second gap. But we possibly will be coming into the final lap now. So LG is going into the final lap. But if you look at Vantage as well, he's only got a 1.6 second gap over our Spec now in third position. So he's lost out a little bit of time there. So Spec is absolutely putting his foot down. He's trying to catch up. George Mars, the Greek God, is sitting in fourth. For Badass in the fifth. The Silent Assassin has worked his way up into sixth, but Miggins is 1.5 seconds back. Lone Wolf Racing in eighth. Apex has dropped. Apex had the freak drop down into ninth, but he's got a slipstream from Millerman. If he can just get this first section nicely mean and clean, body popping, gear dropping. Final top 10 position is Egon. Like I said, we're going into the final lap now with Jake in 11th. Cardio Wes is in 12th, so he has moved up a position with Vroom Room in 13th. But LJ is pushing this like a bat out of hell. It's like that song was made for this driver for this day right now. I wish I could play it on stream, but I will get hit with copyright. But hey, listen, what a driver. What a driver.
Just a 16-year-old young man, ladies and gentlemen. LJ is still in high school, so showing some great pace very early on in his lifetime here. He's got a great sim racing future ahead of him. And we do have Cartier. I think Cartier is just going to make the finish line here as well, so he's going to be on his final lap here as he comes across. And we got Vroom Room here as well. And it looks like we've lost a driver.
Spec right now, mate, and he's dramatically caught up Vantage and L now, and he seems to be closing that gap up as well. I mean, this took him right to the wire for this second position.
So Vroom Room does come across in 13th, and we did lose a driver, so I'm not sure if we had a driver disconnect or what happened there, but we are down a driver here at the end of the race. We have LJ here in first. We're going to stick with LJ as he's coming through the final sectors here. And LJ is going to be the winner of our Over the Pond Challenge Race 1 here, ladies and gentlemen, first annual. So congratulations to LJ on pulling out a race win here on the North America side for Race 1. We got Vantage coming in second with Spec very close behind in third place as well. So great job to Vantage, great job to Spec for finishing second and third. Second going to the United Kingdom side, third going to the North American side. George Marge is now coming across in fourth place with a fantastic race there for the UK side. And, that's it. That's it for that, ladies and gentlemen. It was a quick start finish, so we'll get to the results for you, hopefully, in a minute here. All right. So all the drivers are back on track here. Let's see what we can do here. We can save the replay, so that's fantastic. So we're gonna do that.
You there, bro?
Yep.
There we go. I'm just sharing this replay, mate. So we might have to go back after thingy and get the positions of the drivers.
Yes.
So we can calculate the points.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, please keep in mind, we are working with GT7. There are quite a few issues with the lobby still in GT7, so there are certain things that we're going to have to delay for after the broadcast, such as our cumulative points totals and what each region has amassed for points and all those things. So we will make an official announcement after the broadcast within a day or two once we get all that sorted out. So we're going to have to review the replays. We're going to have to go through everything.
I mean, we can do it after, bro. We can do it after.
Yep.
If you save the replay as well, bro.
Yeah, I got it saved.
Well, I'll be honest, I'm sharing it now.
Okay.
And what we'll do is
jump back over to our this screen.
You can watch one race, bro. You can watch one race, and I'll watch other race. You tell me them points from that race, and you know what I mean.
Absolutely.
We'll split it, man. We can get it up tonight.
Sure.
So first off, guys and girls, I just want to say as well that Sean coming in, GT45 coming in with a like as well. But I just want to say that GT45 is doing a fantastic job. Yes, he's taking majority of this is because I am sitting back. I've got a little bit of toothache. And I just want you guys who possibly haven't seen GT45 just to see how talented this guy is. But second of all, I want to say a massive thank you to all the drivers that participate in all DMJ Vroom Room across the pond and over here in the UK as well. We've got all nationalities that take part in these events, and it's absolutely fantastic to see the friendships, the bonds that come from these events that I created from DMJ Vroom Room and Lone Wolf Racing Design as well. And third and foremost, I want to thank all you, the followers, not only here at the DDR, but also at GT45 Gaming as well. You guys over there in his chat, you guys are absolutely phenomenal, and trust me, I do go back and watch these streams, and I do see you all and what you do and what you say and how these guys drive. So not only is GT45 a great ambassador for DMJ Vroom Room, but also you, the followers, the community on both sides of the pond. You're absolutely phenomenal, and this would be nothing without you. So an absolute fantastic to see you all up in chats, doing donations as well when you can. You know, we truly do appreciate you as content creators, and you know, it's one big happy family, and you know, thank you all.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, you know, we don't have this without the viewers. The viewers really are main point in case here. We can't do this fun stuff without you guys. Without the viewer support, we don't have viewers to watch the races. There's no point in putting on the races, right? So yeah, I mean, the viewers, you guys are legendary. You guys are making this such an amazing event, such an amazing set of series. Week in and week out, and even during the off seasons, you guys are still finding ways to support and show the love to DMJ, and it's absolutely amazing. And the drivers want to keep going on track and putting on these races because of you guys, the fans. So thank you so much on behalf of GT45 Gaming and my community. I know that the drivers have wanted me to make sure to mention that here today, that they thank you guys, the fans, for coming in and watching and supporting and cheering them on as they race. They really do enjoy it, and it makes them want to continue to do it better and faster for you guys. So thank you so much, fans, viewers out there. You're absolutely legendary. You're clutch, and seriously the biggest part of this whole thing. So much love out there, everybody. Keep it going.
I'm just trying to upload this share. It's on 5%. It's just not moving anywhere. This so did you say you saved it? Yeah.
Pardon me.
Did you say you saved the replay?
Yes, I had the replay saved.
Yeah, it's still sat on 5%. So I'm just waiting for it to. It hasn't crashed it out. It's still rolling around.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So what's going to happen here now is we're going to set up the second race. So the drivers will have about 10 minutes before the next race starts. So all the drivers in there listening in, tuning in, you guys got about, give or take, you know, no more than 10 minutes, guys. Make sure you guys are back on track. So D will open up the next lobby, say 5-8 minutes once this replay gets shared out, and then it'll be the same deal as race one. So we're going to go over the details for you guys here in chat. So I'm just going to go through this stuff. So we're moving over into race two, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, gotta run, big brother. Love to my North American drivers. Work 'em, silly boys, says Chris up in chat. Hashtag Facebook Gaming, says Nick. So we got a shootout now, says Chris. Much love, everybody. All right, so we are moving over to Brazil here now, and we're heading to Interlagos, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Interlagos is a personal favorite racetrack of mine. I love racing on Interlagos. I don't know what it is about the racetrack. It's a very difficult racetrack. It's very technical. It has lots of twists and turns, and not a lot of high-speed section on it. So, but it always produces such great racing. It's very hard to pass on Interlagos. There's really only one or two spots that you can really make a safe move on Interlagos. So this next upcoming race is really going to be very interesting. I think we're going to see a really tight pack throughout the race. The track is 4.3 kilometers long, or 2.67 miles, ladies and gentlemen. It is an original circuit, and it's been basically in every single version of Gran Turismo except for... No, I think it's been in every single version except for 1 and 2. Trial Mountain's been in every Gran Turismo except for GT Sport. They brought it back into GT7, which is beautiful. They made a little bit of changes to it. It was a beautiful, fantastic track, and the guys put a really great race on. But moving to Interlagos, nothing's changed in Interlagos. It's still the same old Interlagos that we always expect to see. It has those beautiful twists and turns in it. Very tight track. 2x2 racing is very difficult on Interlagos. It takes an extreme amount of patience and driver skill to be able to do it. So we're in for a really special race here in race 2, as these drivers are going to send it out to finish off this event here today. And it is a tarmac, of course it's a tarmac surface, ladies and gentlemen, and the fastest real-time lap is a 1:10.5 from Valtteri Bottas in the Mercedes AMG F1, and that was back in 2018. So it has 15 left and right hand turns as well, ladies and gentlemen. I'm getting all my information mixed up here. It's a really special racetrack, and it's of course located in Sao Paulo, Brazil. and it's been built. It's been sorry. It was started. They started building the track in 1938, ladies and gentlemen. So in 1938 they broke ground for Interlagos, and in 1940 they ran their very first race on Interlagos racetrack, and of course still have real current world championships to date here presently in 2022 there as well. So you know, I'm sure they've done lots of upgrades and stuff, but as far as the track goes, it's only been through one major change, and I believe that was back in 2012 if I'm not mistaken. So that's a little bit of information moving forward into race 2, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm just setting the lobby up now, bro. I had to shut the game down. I didn't save the replay. It won't let me.
Okay, that's right. I got the replay, so we're good.
Hopefully I can get race 2.
And again, ladies and gentlemen, GT7 really has limited us for our options as far as setting up our lobbies and getting all these events kicked off. We have a little bit of stuff we kind of have to work around and deal with right now currently in the game. They will obviously correct and deal with these issues as time goes on. It's a brand new release, but it's just a proper game. It's such a fantastic game. The physics are amazing. They've done a really good proper job with GT7, and it's going to provide some amazing racing in the future. Without a question of a doubt, it is going to provide some absolutely spectacular racing. So we're here, we're bringing it to you right now, ladies and gentlemen. We're bringing you the beautiful graphics of GT7, the beautiful racetracks, the beautiful cars, and of course the amazing race car drivers.
I'm going to extend the time, bro.
Okay.
For the finish.
Yeah, do what is it? Do like 120. Do a 2 minute for this one.
That's 400.
Because they're about a minute 40 laps, give or take.
Medium softs.
Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, as soon as we get that lobby cooking, we will get up in the house there, and we'll flip their screens back over for you. Who do you think? This is tight, ladies and gentlemen. Judging by what we saw in race 1, the points are very close between the two divisions right now. So
lobby is open.
Okay, 10-4. So we definitively cannot predict anything of what's going to happen in a race 2 right now moving forward. We suspected that this was going to be a very close series as far as the points goes, and the guys have not disappointed at all in that sense. Alright, so the lobby is up, ladies and gentlemen. To all the drivers, the official lobby is up. You guys know the drill. I'm a little early.
Yeah, I've got a few drivers in here changing the lobby. I've been doing it while GT45's been talking in the background, so, you know.
There we go. Hopefully our camera angles are working here today on this race. We'd really love to give you guys some of these new cockpit angles and stuff that the game has put in here to GT7. They have done a really good job with some of the new camera angles they provided us in spectator mode. Unfortunately, they're just not working today.
Wait till we get all 14 drivers in, bro, then we'll give them a 2-minute warning. Get them straight on tracks. That probably took longer than what it should have done due to the replay glitching.
Okay, we'll turn that up a little bit, Ian. Thanks for the heads up, brother. Yeah, this is test for me. I don't use Discord audio very typically for the stream, so do appreciate that the mic volume on my stream is a little bit low, so we've turned that up for you guys, so hopefully that's better for you guys. Appreciate the heads up. We always love the constructive criticism as content creators. Don't be scared to say something if you feel something is wrong. We appreciate all that advice because it just helps us make the broadcast better for you guys. We want it to be like picture perfect for you guys, so don't hesitate to, if you notice something maybe sounds echoey or if something is lagging, don't hesitate to say something, ladies and gentlemen. We do appreciate all that constructive criticism. We just want to give you guys the absolute best we can give day in and day out. So thank you so much, Ian, for that heads up as well. We do appreciate that. And we're just going to move over to the screen here. So we are in the lobby here now.
Bro, do you know what we could do?
Yeah, what do we want to do?
We could get the drivers to tell us where they finished now, where they were when they finished. Put the positions in chat.
Yeah,
that way we won't have to go back. Everyone will know what position they finished in, won't they?
Let's do that. I like that. We'll let everybody get in and then we'll send a mass message.
Type it in chat now. I've got up to 5th position. I got up to 5th, which were badass. But if drivers put where they finished up in chat, I could put it in, then we will have to check replays.
I think Green Mamba might have disconnected from race 1.
It doesn't matter. We'll watch replay, bro. We'll watch replay.
I was trying to figure out which driver it was.
Right, 16 drivers in. I'm good, aren't we? Give him a 1 minute call, qualifying start.
Oh, Cartier's got the wrong car, maybe.
Jet connection, lots of glitching.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Millerman's 7th. Right, there we go. Look, Millerman's put in.
Alright, so we are in the right car. Of course, we want to be showing the right car too, ladies and gentlemen, here. So we've got the North American version Corvette up on our screen here at GT45 Gaming, of course.
Yeah.
As we are, of course, the host of the North American side of the events here. So, looking great. Cars look great. Tattoo did a fantastic job on the cars. Really appreciate him taking the time and effort to do that for the team. And, of course, to show support for DMJ Vroom Room as well. I know Tattooed is he's a team player. Tattooed is massively a team player in the series. He really loves the series, and yeah, we're really fortunate to have really great livery designers available to do things like this for us. They look so amazing. Both the cars do. So,
Hey, I've got all drivers coming in now. First, Apex Badass 5th. I've got that. I need Jakes. Britzberger is in 6th. 6. I need Jakes, Egon, Cardia, and Super. Oh, we didn't get to do Superman, did we?
yeah, no. Superman was on standby for today. We got Egon coming in with 10th. Megan's coming in with 11th. Vroom Room's 13th. I believe Cardia was 12th, and I believe Jake was 11th. Oh, Jake was, what did you say there? 12? Yeah, 12.
There we go, got them all. There we go, sorted. So that's race 1 done, just need to make points.
Beauty.
Right.
Beauty.
Let's race.
Alright. All our drivers are on track, yes. Looks like everybody is ticked in here.
Let's race. Go.
Oh, hold on, we got Cartier ticking in here still, so I think he had to just change his car. Change the car livery.
Yeah. We'll get him out anyway, mate. It's 29, so let him get out anyway, and it's 9:29 here, so 9:30. We'll give him 10 minutes. So 9:40 race will start. We've got Ian coming in saying he's enjoying this tonight as well. I appreciate it, guys. Honestly, we really do. I mean, me and GT45, you know, we've been mates for a very long time. We've been content creators on Facebook a long time. You know, we reached out to GT at DMJ Vroom Room to see if he wanted to jump on board with these events, and he has. And we've watched him, and we thought, you know what? Something like, well, he came to us, approached us about this event, and we thought, you know what? We'd be stupid to turn this down. So, you know, it's fantastic to see the level of driving that's come from GT45 and the North American drivers, because, you know, we've all been watching the UK drivers for a while now, and these events are absolutely epic. And we're going to have more of them.
Oh yes, there will be more in the future, for sure, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I even spoke to DMJ Vroom Room about that, you know, the next Choose Your Weapon Championship, and the same with the Choice of Weapon Championship over there in North America. The next, that will be the incentive as well. Not only will there be trophies and medals involved for the top 3 drivers, but the top 7 drivers will then compete for their nation, for their, you know, in the next CVC event, because this will be an annual thing. And, you know, if we have to open more lobbies as well with these Choose Your Weapon things, we may open more lobbies, which potentially means there could be 2 different lobbies, 2 different championships side by side in these CVCs, as well as the Choose a Weapon or Choice of Weapon. So it's very limited to what we can do. GT45, you know, we've got 16 drivers on track, well, potentially 15 drivers in a championship, you know, that's 30 drivers with 2 lobbies. So some fantastic racing going on. Get rid of my ugly mug.
Alright, so I believe
Green Mamba's going to be first one. These are starting on medium compounds, bro. Let's start flicking through these drivers and see what they're all going to start in the race.
We are on Green Mamba here. He's on the medium tire here. Millerman also on the medium. Jake is on the medium. I suspect all the drivers are probably on the medium tire to start here. George Marge is also on the medium. Vantage on the medium. You see these drivers struggling a little bit with these Corvettes in the turn 3 there. There's a little bit of a mid-high speed sweeping left-hand corner, and if you don't cut the curb, the inside part of that curb just right, you'll go wide there. And as you can see, Vantage and Marge both picking up penalties there. Vantage getting a significant penalty though, so he must have really went wide.
With LJ, bro. LJ is burning fuel right now. He's just flicking between second and third gear and riding them RPMs out. We've seen this in other championships, drivers using this strategy to make the car lighter early on in the qualifying stage. Probably go into the pit, change his tyres as well to the softer compound with lighter fuel, get faster laps. So keep an eye out for LJ through this qualifying strategies already coming into effect.
You're going to see that from Cartier here, I think, as well. Cartier was using that strategy all season long in Season 1 here at Choose Your Weapon on the North America side. He would just drive around the racetrack for the first 8 or 9 or 10 minutes of qualifying and just burn the fuel off in that car. And then he'd go in, take some fresh rubber, and he'd just go lay down a time. So, yeah, I'm not surprised to see some of the drivers relying on that strategy here in qualifying today either. The drivers have been on track. They felt each other out a little bit now. I suspect these guys are really going to send it this race, especially with these Group 4 cars. The Group 4 cars are quite comfortable to drive. You can really throw these cars into a corner and they respond. And it's actually quite surprising at how well this Corvette responds as well. So go ahead, D.
It can be its downfall as well, especially when tyre wear comes into effect with the time of day changing. Now, these are all the stuff that GT has to offer. Yes, it's not perfect. Yes, GT have got a long way to go to get GT7 actually working as a real racing simulator. You know, we know it's got its bugs, but these GT4 cars, like you said, do stick to the track. But when you've got tyre wear and the time of day changing and the track temperature changing, the fuel load getting lighter, it can potentially catch drivers out because they end up pushing it too hard. And as you can see there, the Green Mama picking up 1.5 second penalty. You know, and it can also be the downfall to some drivers. It can catch them out. But luckily enough on Interlagos, there is a little bit of runoff. You're not met by walls as much. So if they do go off, they're probably going to be jumping on grass or, you know, probably just tapping a wall or something like that.
Yeah, we shouldn't quite see the as much wall contact in this race exactly for that reason, because the walls aren't so tight to the racetrack. But I mean, this is a very technical racetrack, ladies and gentlemen. These drivers, all you got to do is just be under braking and touch a little bit of the outside grass going into a corner, and that's going to be enough to turn this car sideways here today as well. So the drivers, again, you just have to make sure they're aware of where their car is positioned on the racetrack, especially under braking. The Corvette does not like to be under braking on any kind of a slippery surface, I have noticed with this car. So that's going to factor in these curbs here at Interlagos, of course, as well. Got to be very careful when you're getting onto the power. When you're on a curb here at Interlagos, they're fairly steep, and they can throw the car sideways as well. So the drivers do have a couple things to factor in here today, but mainly it's just the fact that this is a very tight technical racetrack, and they're going to be very close quarters with each other at very high rate of speed. So it's going to be a very difficult race for these drivers, and they're just going to have to really be focused and on point, be aware of their surroundings, and just try not to overdrive the car is really the big thing here. If you overdrive this car, you're really going to burn the tires out on it.
We're just jumping on board with Miggins then, who was sat in second on the grid. Obviously no times got locked in, but he just used DMJ Vroom Room slipstream there to try and get past him, and he did make that pass on turn 1, but in the background, Spec was watching all that go on, and Spec came in with a flying lap then, and he was pushing it, but Vroom Room now has slowed Spec down. As Vroom Room kept his line, Spec, he's going to lose out, and he was absolutely flying through that section. So Spec there, currently in second position, did lose out there, unfortunately, on that lap, but George Marge is trying to catch up to Vroom Room there. You can see him right into the back end, so potentially Vroom Room might let him pass.
I'm just throwing up a 5-minute heads up here to the drivers.
And forward on that. So now you're going to start seeing lap times come in. So Badass is leading this as it sits now with a 139.2. You've got Spec in second, 1/10 down. Not much is in it, but 8/10 down is Miggins in third. Cardi sitting in fourth with a penalty, a 1.5 second penalty. He's serving it right now, so his lap's going to get compromised. And the entrance to his next lap is going to get compromised as well, because he's not going to be carrying that speed down that back straight into turn 1. He's going to use that to go into the pits.
And he does. Miggins just takes P4 off of Cartier here as well. So by 2/100ths of a second here as he's going to come across. So
it's all changing.
Yeah, it's very changing a ton here. We got Blitzberger now moving up into P2. We got Millerman up into P5 there. We've got Megan's now up into P3.
This is going to be one feisty race, I can tell you.
We got Millerman is purple right now, coming through his sector by almost 0.3 of a second here.
Using these new camera angles with his nice pink racing suit on there, Millerman.
Oh, your camera angles are working? I'm jealous.
If it don't work, mate, go out of it and then come back. See if that helps. I'd press square on the steering wheel.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
Millerman keeping it nice and tight there. Got to make sure that back end don't slide out. It did slide out a bit and it did enter that curb.
It is. I got to use my steering wheel apparently to get the camera angles to change.
Oh, he's run off, so any purple lap there is going to be affected. He's going to have dirty tyres as well.
We got LJ now sitting in provisional pole currently here as well. We're going to see these places swapping the whole time through qualifying here, ladies and gentlemen.
3 minutes left.
And no matter how hard LJ really tried to burn fuel out of that car, he was really only able to manage to burn out about a quarter tank of fuel out of that Corvette. So clearly the Corvette is pretty good on fuel here at Interlagos. So Cartier might be having some connection issues potentially here.
But no, LJ, they're holding his nerves, pulling the purple as well. He's 1/10 up, guys. He's pushing it right to the limit. He's coming up to the final turn now. He does keep it lean, mean, and clean, body popping, gear dropping. We've seen LJ have an absolutely fantastic first race. Can he now have a fantastic second race? And maybe, due to the drivers behind him, get away in turn one while there's a little bit of drama going on. But now he's going to come across the line. He was pulling purple sectors. What's he going to get? He does get a 138.399 now. He's nearly, he's over 4 tenths up over Britzberger, who's down, going through the first section on Interlagos.
LJ is showing some incredible pace here today, ladies and gentlemen. LJ finishing... LJ was a reserve driver when we started the series here at the North American Division side of things this season. And then one of the drivers had to bow out due to work reasons. So LJ stepped in that driver's spot as a full-time driver and just continued to build off of that driver's points. And that driver was quite a ways down in the standings at the time. And LJ very quickly moved his way up into that top 7 just in 5 races. And then we see Jake getting all kinds of sideways there. We were just talking about that. He got the tires into the grass, into the braking zone, and he put that Corvette completely sideways. And Green Mama did a really great job of not getting into the back end of him there.
Yeah, I mean, Green Mamba there just getting it wrong. It goes off into the track, and you know, it did collide with the wall, but he's kept it out of the damage. But a driver I want to keep an eye on right now is 9th position George Mars, the Greek god. He's down half a second there. I'm not really sure. George is good on this track. I'm not really sure what's going on right now. It's I'm expecting him to move up. I mean, he's got one more lap. We're on 39. Final lap now. I'll put it in chat.
I got it right. I'm on it already.
Alright, go on then, you do it, then I'll leave you.
Alright, so the drivers are told that this is their final lap. So George just passed that line in the nick of time, ladies and gentlemen. Tattoo's coming into pit lane.
Cardier's pulling purples in 11th.
Alright, so let's stick with Cartier here just for a second, ladies and gentlemen, as we just happen to be on him.
He's pulling bests, but he's lost his purple there.
See Green Mom has just pulled off on the side of the track there.
Gets him in third.
It does push him up into P3 there, yeah. So that was a good lap by Cartier. As you see him pulling off into turn 1 there. All the guys doing a fantastic job at responding to the ways that we're running the event here today. The drivers have been spot on with the whole deal that's going on here today. So good job to the drivers at knowing the rules and understanding what's going on here at DMJ. Great job.
Still out.
So I want Jake right now as he's coming around the final turn here. And I know that Jake is going to want some serious redemption after race 1, ladies and gentlemen. So this is going to be one of the North American drivers to definitely look out for. And it does keep him in 4th.
And he likes Cartier's back end.
We do have Miller Man still on a hot lap here as well, ladies and gentlemen. So now we're on board with Miller Man. Is it an outlap? Okay, so that one won't relate to anything. George Marge coming around. He's just weaving side to side.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah, I think that's it now. So we'll give him a little bit of a minute break.
So the drivers are burning up those expensive racing slicks. They're all just having some fun, blowing some donuts in the in turn one there and making a mess of the racetrack.
Michelin would absolutely love to see that, because the more tyres they burn, the more tyres they use, which means more money in their pockets.
Absolutely.
But hey ho, guys and girls, we're going to give the driver warning now. Like I said, for the final time tonight, I just want to say a massive thank you for not only the drivers, but GT45 Gaming, to all you guys and girls at home that sit in, that like, react, comment, share, and donate. They're not only us for the stars, but the charities.
Coming in with that like and that share, my man. Much love, appreciate you,
these
homie.
events would not be anything without you guys.
So
big massive thank you to each and every single one of you.
Come on, boys, put it to them, says
right now, I'm going to tell these drivers we're going to get ready, steady, and go. Get the green light going, and GT45 will take the comms from the start of this race, ladies and gents.
All right, we were just jotting out some alerts there while you were going through that there, catching up on the old alert box there. Thank you so much for everybody tuning in. You're absolutely popping off in the chats here today. Thank you so much for the likes and shares, everybody, and especially the donations to MacMillan Cancer Support. Massive, massive appreciation for that to everybody. And to everybody just hanging out, tuning in with us and enjoying the action. Thank you so much, because seriously, you guys make this everything it is. You guys are amazing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so we are with LJ Super Ninja sitting on pole here for the beginning of this race at Interlagos. This is a 30-minute race, and this is race 2 of our event here, the final race of the evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Jake has left.
Oh, so Jake has disconnected, ladies and gentlemen. Are we gonna? I don't know if there's a. Are we playing a red flag rule for that?
No, there's no way of doing it. There's
all
no
right.
have to do.
So we are down a North American driver, which is going to be huge implications into the final standings here. So
not really, we British drivers had a DNF.
That's true. That's true. That's true. Actually, it will balance it out here. So we are down Jake, unfortunately, absolutely gutted. I'm sure he is not very happy right now. I'm sure he wanted to really push this race and really put out a good showing. So it is what it is. That's the part of electronic racing, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes disconnections happen.
There's nowhere to do a manual
grid. No, you're right.
You have to do the qualifying again. And
so we do have LJ and Cartier West 1 and 2, and Blitzberger just behind with Vantage just behind him. Oh, we got to see a driver went off there. I think that was who was that?
Somebody else just disconnected. Somebody else just disconnected.
Oh, I think the lobby's crashing, guys. I think the lobby's crashing.
Oh man. Have them drivers dropped out because Jake lost?
I'm not sure what's going on there. Yeah.
They shouldn't have dropped out.
No, they should have kept going. All the drivers do know the red flag rules until one of us actually calls that red flag in the game chat. There is no red flag there, so I guess the drivers potentially opting, I guess, to call a red flag there. I'm not sure what happened there.
Right. Well, I'm gonna get him into the on track, and I'm just gonna start the race random grid.
It is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, that was a bizarre situation. We're not sure what happened there, but yeah, we'll figure that out at the end of the broadcast, I guess. No big deal. It is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. So, but yeah, it's not like GT Sport. We can't just fire the grid back up, set it manually, set everybody back in their places, and fire it back up again. So, essentially now it's just going to put these guys in a random position, and they're going to be racing from where they're sitting. So, that'll change it up a little bit, I guess. It'll make it interesting. Huh.
Yeah. I'm just going to need to make sure I've got all drivers on track. So Jake needs to get back in. We've got one driver down. I need to tell these, do not put a lap time in.
Yeah, drivers, if you're listening, no one go on track. Everybody just sit.
Waiting for Jake, and then we'll fire it up.
Now, maybe when some of the drivers were watching the broadcast and asked if I was thinking about the red flag scenario there, but we definitely didn't call it. So, and we got drivers on track here. So,
Chris coming in, massive shout out to y'all for putting this event on. Big love. We love it. We love it. We love it. This is what we do, man. This is what we love to do. There you go.
We do have drivers on track here.
Jake's joined now as well. Just wait for Jake to get on track. And then we'll go.
You coming, matey? Get your butt in here. We just got to make sure that Megas doesn't cross the start-finish line here, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think he has any intention on doing so.
It's an outlap anyway, mate.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll count.
So I don't know if these drivers are in a chat altogether currently here, or what's going on there, but that was an interesting... I mean, it's sportsmanship at its finest, I guess, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, these drivers want to compete with each other, and they didn't feel that they wanted to do it without Jake in the field, maybe? I'm not sure what's going on, Chad. It was a very interesting scenario. I've never seen that happen before, actually, without the host calling that situation. I've never seen that happen before, so...
I get it. But at the same time now, like, if all the UK drivers start at the front, then it is what it is. If they all, you know what I mean? It's just
it is what it is.
Should have kept on going.
You know what? The North American guys they're very good racers, and they'll continue on, man. They'll continue on. It is what it is. Go Beavers and Eagles, bro! I'm hyped as hell right now. Chris, you're a legend, brother. So there was a big joke going around the North American side, ladies and gentlemen, where we wanted to see a beaver on the Canada part of the car, but of course there wasn't a good graphic for it. So there's a running joke on the North American side about a beaver on the cars here. Yeah. So
I'm gonna wear.
All right, so it looks like it kind of put the grid somewhat close to where it was. So we're with Cartier, I guess, leading the on the start here. So we are green, and Cartier and Spec get off. Cartier is actually going to move over and let LJ through. So look at the sportsmanship by Cartier there, ladies and gentlemen. And we do have one driver really glitching right now. We'll have to keep our eye on that. We got one car spun out here right at the end there. Looks like Green Mamba. It looked like it was just a small amount of contact as they were trying to go 3 wide around corner 1 there. And unfortunately, he just went around with a little bit of a tap to the rear end. And we have Room in 12th here. Wiggins is sitting in 13th. And I think we just lost Blitzberger.
Miggins, yeah, might have done. Miggins is in 13th. He's just sat there as well. Room's in 12th.
So we're not sure what that is about, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, Richard's coming in. How we doing, bro?
So we do have Spec 1 leading the race here. We got LJ sitting in P2. We've got Tattooed Freak sitting in P3. We've got Badass sitting in P4. We've got Millerman in P5. Vantage in P6. We got Cartier West in 7th. George Marge in 8th. We got Jake in 9th. George and Green Mamba are battling for position. They're swapping back and forth between 9th and 10th. Looks like Marge has 9th locked down there now, as Green Mamba settles into 10th place. Egon in 11th. We got Vroom in 12th place. And Megan's in 13th. And a driver missing. I don't know. Do you have 14 drivers on track, D? Or do you have 13?
I've got 13.
Alright, so it does look like...
Miggins just sat there, though. Miggins just sat there at turn 1.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the deal is there. So, hopefully these drivers catch that. We got yellow flags showing, so these drivers will at least be looking for a vehicle spun out here as they come around corner 1. And he's just kind of hanging out there. I'm not sure what's going on there. Alright, so a little bit of confusion in race 2 here, ladies and gentlemen, but that's going to happen. But these guys are kicking off, and they are nose to tail, all the way down this straightaway here. Every driver is in that straight from start to finish here as they're coming around the corner on the tail end. And this is some great action here. The driver's doing a pretty good job. A little bit of contact early on into turn 1 there. Megan's sitting sideways on the track there. Maybe displeased about something. I'm not really sure.
Cartier now is right onto the back end of Lone Wolf Racing Millerman. Oh, Cartier makes a dime move there. And he does get past Lone Wolf Racing Millerman there.
So I'm not sure. We've lost 2 of our UK drivers here currently.
Jake's trying to make a move on Lone Wolf Racing Millerman there. Someone just went on grass. I'm not sure who it was. I think it might have been Vantage. Oh, someone's off. Someone off?
We're trying to look for it here. There's so many cars nose to tail coming around this racetrack, ladies and gentlemen. It's just absolutely great to see. Ninja in first, Spec in second. What do we got here? We got Vantage in third place. Now Cartier West is up into fourth. Tattooed Freak is in fifth, and he has got some Jake right there as well. And then Jake has Millerman all over the back end of that DMJ Room North America car there. We have Green Mamba just behind, and we see 2x2 here going into turn 1 on the North American drivers between Jake and I can't get my stuff together here, chat. Tattooed Freak, that's it. Yeah, thank you.
Kanye West has moved all the way up from 7th.
Up into 4th place here, yeah. So we do have 3 North American cars all nose to tail here. So let's see if these guys are going to work together here to push the cars up front or not, as Vantage is in 3rd place. So interesting to see. I don't know. These guys have kind of just been racing individually. We've seen a little bit of teamwork coming from these drivers, but not a ton here today. And I'm actually kind of surprised about that. But we're seeing some right now between Cartier West, Jake, and Tattooed Freak, because these guys are doing a pretty good job driving in that 3-car train here currently. But they also have Millerman and Green Mamba right there behind them in their own little train as well, and George Marge on the back of this train here as well. So we're gonna see some fireworks in this race for sure, Chad. There is definitely some tight racing going on here, as we see LJ's purple currently here right now as he's coming around corner 3 here, moving into the middle sector here. Final corner. Ooh, I'm all confused today, chat. I love this racetrack too. It's really funny.
Egon there is getting right into the slipstream with Lone Wolf Racing Millerman.
And we're
Remember there picking his penalty and just shaking it off. Dropped right back into 11th. Room is in 12th position, just getting right into the back end of Green Mamba now because of that penalty.
There we go. We use a steering wheel, we get our camera angles. This is simply awesome. Much love, Paul. Much love, brother. So we are on board with Egon as he's trying to chase down Millerman here currently. We're just messing around with the camera angles here. We finally got some camera angles to work with us here. So let's find us a juicy little battle here.
Beck is in 2nd position now, pulling purple sectors and closing that gap up to LJ a little bit. You got Vantage NL getting the pressure now from Cardia, sitting in 4th position with Apex in 5th, with Jake alongside him as well. So these 2 guys may potentially start catching this 4th and 3rd position while the battling does start commencing. I mean, Vantage NL now is on the medium compound, but so is Cardia. And Cardia proving earlier on that he's got pace in this GR4 Corvette round Interlagos, and he's managed to get right onto the back end there of Vantage. Vantage nearly get a little bit of oversteer there as he put the power down on the exit through that winding tight section there, making sure he's got all that downforce on that beautiful GR4 Corvette. They're absolutely looking fire, these cars there, but just managing to hold Cardia off. But can he do it as we go into the lead straight?
It's going to be, that is a tough feat holding a guy like Cartier West off too, ladies and gentlemen. Cartier West will not leave Vantage alone, so it's going to be interesting to see how these 2 drivers handle one playing offense and one playing defense here.
Vantage went a little bit wide. He did go onto the green stuff there, and Cardi now side by side, but dragging more speed out of that exit. And you can see there, Vantage has got no choice but to tuck it. But is he going to make a comeback? As he managed to tuck in early on, which means that slip will pay effect. And you can see him there, he's on the inside, but is he going to make it lick and stick?
Cartier slightly defended there. He just slightly defended there. It was just enough to back Vantage off from making the inside move there. So a little bit of peek in the rearview mirror by Cartier there as he's seen Vantage thinking about moving on the outside and just kind of stuck the butt end of the car into that racing line there. So a little bit of a defensive maneuver there from Cartier West, but Vantage is right up on the back end of Cartier West here. Is he going to respond coming into this next couple sectors here is what I would wonder. This is not the easiest spot to make moves coming into corner 3, 4, 5, and 6 here, ladies and gentlemen, Interlagos, as they're very tight technical sectors. But oh, he does get a penalty.
Yeah, while these 2 have been going on, Jake and Tad the Freak have been catching these guys up. I've been keeping my eye on it in the background, and they've got a 2.2 second gap over George Margie in 7th. So these 2 have been working together, starting to move up the grid, even though Jake has got front aero damage.
You can see him give Tattooed a little bit of a push there, so I don't think Jake is looking to make the move on Tattooed Freak here either. I think Jake is quite content to help push his teammate ahead here with that aero damage.
Yeah, I think that is because of the aero damage. That is fantastic teamwork there, and in doing that, like I said, Vantage has now picked up that second penalty, and these 2 are working together. And you know, with that slipstream working with Tad the Freak and Jake, that damage will not really majorly affect him. We've just got to make sure he keeps within that slipstream, and if he can do that, these two will move up the grid working together like that. Vantage just get rid of it there on the outside line.
And you see him serving his penalty there now, so losing those 2 positions to Tattooed, Freak, and Jake. But Vantage not far behind those guys, and he does have teammates coming up in behind here. So he does have Marge and Millerman creeping up on him here. So now these guys can get nose to tail and do a little bit of teamwork here. They can most certainly catch those guys up ahead of them. We have Badass is now starting to close up on these gaps. And Badass going really, really wide going into corner 1 there. Just coming out ahead of Egon, so Badass probably going to pick up a penalty for that as well. And we see Egon going on the outside there, yeah.
Fantastic. But is Badass going to let him pass? He has let him pass, he's going to tuck in. Maybe these two can start working together, because Green Mamba now's dropped down into 11th position. Room Room is in 12th position, and like I said, we've lost 2 British drivers. But LJ now 1.1 second up over Spec. Spec's got a 4-second gap to Cardi, who's worked his way in a 3rd. Fantastic driving from him as well, Cardi, and we did see him get that sportsmanship award. We're going to give him that sportsmanship award for the start of that race as well.
Absolutely.
Where obviously clearly didn't start where he was meant to start.
And Cartier opting to start where he was supposed to start there. So yeah, really good call there. And you just don't see that very often from these drivers. And
advantage George and Lone Wolf Racing all hugging together now.
Let's go check that out as we have these guys just nose to tail in a nice 3-car train here. And they've actually left Egon and Badass in the dust by working together like this as well. So these guys are moving right now. Look out for these 3 drivers, ladies and gentlemen, as they are doing a fantastic job here, nose to tail. You see Marge is not. He could have easily taken an outside move there on his teammate, but just opting to tuck back in behind and continue working on that front pack.
He served the penalty. He may come under pressure now to the freaking 5th position. He may have to surrender this. I don't know. Will Vantage now make a move, or will George Marge make a move, or possibly follow him through? He's going to have a look in turn 1. Vantage does that on the inside line now.
And he is... Oh, Tattoo, I don't think saw him there as he made contact turning in. Does Tattoo give him the position? Tattoo did give him the position there, so...
Vantage did get a penalty.
Great job there by Tattoo, but I think Tattoo didn't see him on the radar there as he went to go turn in for his corner and made contact with Vantage there, but he did give the position to Vantage, so...
Oh, no, a little bit of contact.
Whoa!
Oh, Vantage NL's gone off. A little bit of contact there on the back axle there of Vantage NL, which did take him off a little bit.
Definitely a little bit of contact causing him to definitely go really deep on the track there. It doesn't look like the game's going to penalize him for that, thankfully, as far as Vantage goes.
Now we've got Egon and Badass now catching this driver up.
Absolutely.
And, I think we definitely saw the new way that Gran Turismo has made this game feel come into play right there. You definitely saw the effects of that tiny little knock and what it can do to these GT4, GT3, GT2 cars. And you know, the whole way this game feels now is completely different to Sport. Any little bit of contact can.
And I mean, I want to really give a big shout out to these drivers today that have been working together, slipstreaming, bump drafting together, because let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, bump drafting in GT7 is no joke. The dirty air effects in GT7 are serious. You feel them immediately. So it is not easy to drive in slipstreaming conditions. Especially being the car in behind, because you're just sucking up a whole bunch of dirty air from the car in front, and it really, really affects your braking and your turn-in on these cars coming into braking zones and corners. So that is definitely a big factor in GT7 as well. It is very, very realistic. You come into these corners with overspeed. If you don't brake a little bit sooner, you will miss your corner. And so the drivers that we do see on track that are working nose to tail and driving very well like that and hitting their marks, great job to those drivers, because it is not an easy task in GT7, and we're seeing it from George Marge and Millerman here as well. They've been doing it here for about 3 or 4 laps now, and they have caught that pack. So
I mean, I'm just watching Vantage NL now. He's, because of that what's just gone on and the penalty that he got as well, and that just in that first 2 sectors of the track he managed to lose out position, and he's dropped right down into 10th. So you know, this game now he's going to have to try and get that undercut. He's going to be pushing it, which means he's going to be using more fuel potentially, maybe in the pits longer. Now it's going to be interesting to see where these strategies are going to come into play, because we're just about to get to the halfway mark on this race. And you know, it's going to be interesting. Everything is to play for. But Badass now is right under the back end of Egon as well. Lone Wolf Racing Millerman is just starting to fade away from George March. The Greek got a little bit there, but George March is right onto the back end, right onto the exhaust of Tad DeFreak now, who's trying to keep him at bay for that fifth, but he did get a good exit, George, and we may see a pass going into turn one, and George Marge may start trying to make a move on Jake. We're going to stay on board. I'm going to stay on board with George Marge anyway, driver's perspective. As you can see, Tad DeFreak there going to show that he's going defensively on the inside line now. George will just take that sweeping right corner, but you may potentially see a different driving large line from George, and you may see him get the undercut on the final turn, but he does go heavy on the brakes.
So we got Nolander up in the chat here saying big shout out to the livery designers here for the event. These cars look absolutely beautiful.
They do. Good night of racing. My chat's coming. Great comms. We've got another follower saying Adam Field's coming in. Love it, love it.
Absolutely, the chat has been lit up all day long. We love to see this. So we do have LJ again leading this race here like he was in race one, but not quite with the commanding lead that he had at this point. In race one, he's only got about a 2-second gap on teammate Spec 1 here, who is just kind of doing his own thing in second place. It doesn't look like he's too concerned about that gap. He's just running his race right now, turning his laps, and of course, drivers, the tires and fuel are going to play a major factor into the pit strategy, especially for some of these drivers who've had a couple of incidents on track here early on. Cartier West sitting in P3 currently, as well with Apex Jake and Tattooed Freak. So North America currently holding out the top 5 positions on track here at Interlagos. But then we have UK coming right there in behind him with George Marge. We got Millerman sitting there putting the pressure on. We got Badass who's gotten around Egon. Now we've seen a little bit of a tap between Badass and Egon earlier on. Coming into a braking zone, they were slipstreaming. They were working together. They were bump drafting. And that's what we were talking about, ladies and gentlemen. Badass didn't quite brake early enough, account for that overspeed, just tapped his teammate, and that was just enough to send the teammate a little bit wide into the corner. Both cars made it around the corner safe and sound. Egon got it very wrong there as he went sideways off the corner there, and he lost 2 or 3 positions there. Does he pick up?
Has got a penalty.
He did not.
To serve his penalty as well. Vantage NL's now going to be putting the pressure on him, but Vantage did get a penalty as well. He's got a 3.5 second penalty.
So he has crossed pit lane there, I think, is what happened.
After overtaking with a yellow flag, Egon went off track, and I think he may have done an overtake. I don't know.
Could be. There's definitely some different penalty systems here in GT7, ladies and gentlemen. There is caution flag penalties in play. When you see a caution flag, you're not allowed to pass another driver unless it's the driver that's spun out. If you pass another driver under caution, you'll be assessed a 3-second penalty here. And that was a good call by DDOT as we're seeing that on one of the drivers here. And it's really tough because sometimes you're in the middle of making that move when a caution comes out and it's just unavoidable sometimes. And it's really, really unfortunate to see that 3-second penalty there. But again, these guys have been dropping down and moving up the field here relatively quickly here at Interlagos. So don't count these drivers out yet, chat. We still have 15 minutes of racing left. And it's not over. These guys got to make stops. There's still strategy to play involved here. A driver to spin out. Anything can happen, ladies and gentlemen. This is racing. This is racing, ladies and gentlemen. Anything can happen.
I'm just on board with George Marge in 6th position. Now he's still sitting on the back end of Tad DeFreak. And I think he's just waiting for the optimal time to pass. I mean, these two drivers, Tad DeFreak and George Marge, they're on the medium compound, but they are catching up to Jake in front wheels. He's sitting in 4th now. You can see him down this back straight. George is, I think, potentially maybe saving his fuel or his tyre wear, and you know, maybe going to push on Tad DeFreak maybe before the pits come into play, or you know, hopefully try and save a bit of fuel and spend less time in the pits. I don't know, but Tad DeFreak is definitely pushing George Marge around this track right now and guiding him around. But Lone Wolf Racing Millerman still 2.4 seconds back.
Yeah, George Marge is playing very patient. So I think he's just playing a very patient game here right now. You just try to stay in that slipstream, save a little bit of fuel, save a little bit of tire when he's riding in behind that slipstream. There is advantages to being in a slipstream from another car, and that is one of the advantages. It does help you manage your fuel and tires a little tiny bit better. So maybe just a little bit of strategy coming here from George Marge as well today while he's sitting behind Tattooed Freak, hoping that maybe that gains him a second and a half in pit lane, and that could be all the difference in the world for a couple of positions coming out of pit lanes. So
well, if he can stay out on track for a longer time on these medium compounds, go into the pit as late as he can, he will then put minimum fuel on. So not only is he spending less time in the pits, that you've got minimum weight on your car on fresh, soft compound of tyre as well. So trying to drag the fuel out is probably the main objective here. So when he does go into the pits on a soft compound, he doesn't have to put in a lot of fuel. So starting,
we got Chris coming in with a
very,
45 star
very
bomb, my
going
man.
to the
Much love. Let's get
race as well. So
GG's
maybe
Chris
he's holding out
up
for
in the
that,
chat, ladies and gentlemen.
you know, and it could affect him later on. Could capitalize on it.
Absolutely, and great call there, D, as well. Badass here sitting in 10th place. We got Vantage back all the way down in 11th after serving that 3.5-second penalty. It's absolutely gut-wrenching to get stuck with a penalty like that, but he's a good racer, and I don't doubt that he won't continue to push here and try to make those positions back. And we see the top 7 drivers now coming into pit lane here. And,
E-fan, baby, let's go.
Whew, it's going to be interesting. This is going to be interesting, GG, says Chris.
On it, Hans.
Horny horns.
Vantage in 11th. Now we saw Vantage early on, early stages, battling it out for that top 3 position, that top 4 position, and he made them mistakes. You know, he got a little bit of a tap, forced him off. He got a penalty for that. Then he got a little bit of another tap, sent him off track. And you know, but he did get that early undercut. He's now on the soft compound tyre. He's got half a tank of fuel as well. So he's ready to go the remainder of the lap. These guys in front now are just starting to come out of the pits, but it's a very long pit sitting at Larkos. So it's going to be interesting to see if he's gained on any of these drivers in front of him. But he's working his socks off now to try and catch up and capitalise on these guys going into the pits.
So we do have a couple of drivers out at pit lane. We have Spec 1 out of pit lane in P1, so he has massively jumped LJ in the pits there. Is LJ even on track anymore? Where does LJ go? Oh yeah, LJ's way back there now, still in pit lane. So LJ potentially may have had to run, actually. As you see him having the car is just parked in pit lane there, so LJ may have had to retire from the race here today. So we do have Spec 1 now sitting in the lead. We have Jake sitting in 2nd place. We got Tattooed Freak sitting in 3rd. Cartier West sitting in 4th place. We got Marge just behind Cartier. And Cartier's just picked up a penalty, ladies and gentlemen. So this is massive from Mr. Marge there, moving towards that pack.
That could be crossing the pit lane. That is a solid 3-second penalty. He is on his outlap.
Yeah,
that could be.
That's definitely going to be a pit lane penalty for sure, ladies and gentlemen. You can't cross those white solid lines going in and out of pit lane. You will get assessed a very large penalty, and it's 3 seconds. So Cartier is going to lose a couple of spots here when he goes to serve this penalty. So
he's only 2.2 seconds down from George Marge, and if you think where that penalties get served, Millerman's going to carry that speed through there.
With Badass is right there pushing him now too. So. And we see Cartier serving that penalty and losing 3 positions on that penalty, ladies and gentlemen. So Marge, Millerman, and Badass all gaining position on Cartier West. Cartier going from 4th to 8th. 7th, sorry. So really unfortunate. And you really got to watch your P's and Q's here in Gran Turismo 7. There's no remorse when it comes to these track limitations here. You really got to be on point. You got to drive the racetrack for the racetrack. There's no more cheat in the corners here, Gran Turismo 7. They've done a really good job to make it so that you have to keep that car within the track limits to race. So some of the drivers struggling with penalties here today.
Track limits is on strong.
That's the way it should be, though. These are the best of the best. These guys are the top echelon drivers of the last choice of weapon seasons here in the UK and North American division sides, and they should be challenged here. So we have definitely done that, I think, today with these races to challenge these drivers. And none of these drivers are really 100% comfortable with the new physics in the game yet either. So, I mean, everybody's at a very even standing today. So it's been great racing all day long with Jake in 2nd place here. Spec has a commanding lead on the pack here. He's almost got 10 seconds here. So he just needs to really stay focused, maintain that gap, and just finish off strong here for himself today. And then we got Jake in 2nd place having a much better race than race 1. Tattooed Freak's having a great race here too, currently sitting in P3 with Marge just behind these guys in P4. Do not count George Marge out, ladies and gentlemen. I said it at the beginning of the broadcast. He is definitely one of these drivers to look out for here today.
Also, Cartier and Badass now are working together to try and catch up Lone Wolf Racing for this 6th position. I mean, we've got about 7-8 minutes left remaining of this race, and you can start seeing them close that gap up as we turn into turn 1 now with Interlagos. And they've dramatically closed that gap up, trying to go too wide into that. And you can see Bad Outside just backing out and getting straight back into the slipstream. But Cardier now starting to work his way back up the grid, guys. He's worked his way up into 6th. He's on them soft compound. He's got over half a tank of fuel. And he's in the slip there of Lone Wolf Racing Millerman. And,
with just over 7 minutes, with just under 7 minutes remaining, and the shape of the tires on the car at Cartier West, suspect to see full push from Cartier West here, moving towards the end of the race, ladies and gentlemen. But this is probably been a part of his strategy the whole race long, to put his car in this position to have optimal tires and an optimal amount of fuel in that car to really put down some lap time. So it'd be interesting to see if he can gain any more positions here. As we can see, he is trying now to gain on Millerman here, who is having a fantastic race here at Interlagos as well. But Cartier tucked right up in behind coming into that sector there, and Badass is right there as well. So Millerman is under pressure from a couple of guys working together here. He just needs to stay calm, cool, collected, and make sure he hits those lines, and he should be able to keep these drivers behind him. But to do it for 6 minutes is going to be a very, very tough ask here.
Yeah, and Tad the Freak there in 3rd he seems to be struggling to be defending this final podium position, as George does get a nice clean exit there, but you can see early doors Tad the Freak does sweep over to the left-hand side to show George Mars, listen, you want the position, work for it. I'm going to defend this, and he goes into the pits. He does. Tad the Freak goes into the pits there. George Mars flies on through into that final podium position, then up in a 3rd. You can see LJ just glitching out there in the pits as these drivers go past. But we all know what's going on there. So
yes,
George
absolutely.
does take that final 3rd position, but Cardier now does get past Lone Wolf Racing Millerman there to take that 4th position, and Millerman's now caught into a North American sandwich. You can see Cardier and a Badass there sandwiching Millerman. Is Millerman going to get nervous, or is he going to maintain and defend this position and possibly try and take that 4th away from Cardier? Who knows, there's all to play for advantage. And Els managed to work his way up into 7th as well, with Green Mamba right behind him there using that slipstream. So these two have definitely put in a little bit of work to try and catch these guys up in front. There is all to play for 5 minutes of this race remaining. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. It's time to get diggy down with the North American DMJ and the UK DMJ drivers. It's absolutely fantastic. Egon in 9th position now with Tad the Freak because of that pit stops going into 10th, with Broom Room sitting in 11th at LJ.
I really think a Tattooed Freak opting to go into the pits to fix some damage there. I really think that it was in his best interest just to stay out on track there and just continue to keep battling with Marge there. I mean, Tattooed Freak could have very easily slowed Marge down enough to at least allow 1st and 2nd place to really run away from George Marge there, but he opted to fix that damage, and I think he could have finished probably still top 4 or top 5 even with that damage on the car the way things were looking there. So a little bit of a surprising move from Tattooed there. But Spec 1 is looking very solid here in the race. Very early, very late stages here. He's got 8-second gaps. So Jake is peeling into that gap a little bit. And Marge now just 4.3 seconds behind Jake. So I do believe he's closing in on Jake just slightly here.
I mean, to be fair, Spec has not really had much camera time because he's that far in front. But like I say, when a driver comes in and manages to gather an 8 to 9 second gap, obviously we had a driver glitch out while going to the pits who was alongside him as well, but it just goes to show the quality of drivers. So Spec, massive shout out to you, mate. Fantastic driving, especially when you're looking at the likes of the lobby. Who's in the lobby right now? Jake is there, you've got George Marge, here as well. Lone Wolf Racing Design, Badass, Vantage, Green Mamba, Egon as well, Tad the Freak, Vroom Room, LJ, you know, you've had drivers drop out. This is an absolutely fantastic lobby, so expect to sit there and get a 9-second advantage. I think that guy deserves a horny horn.
Horny horn, ladies and gentlemen, horny horn, absolutely, and good call by D. He's 100% right. This is a absolutely high tier elite driving lobby here today, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, this is the best that DMJ has to offer. As far as all the drivers goes through all their series through North America and the UK divisions, we put the best of the best on track here for you guys today. And let me tell you, these drivers have been excited all week. And they finally get to put it out. They finally get all that energy out of their system here today. So really glad to see that they're having fun out on track. We've glad to see both series coming together and racing together as well. You know, it's also another part of building the DMJ Vroom Vroom community, ladies and gentlemen, by taking the drivers that typically won't race against each other, mainly because of a time zone factor, and they get a chance to really test their mettle against each other. So it's good for these drivers, for drivers of this caliber, to really see where they stand against the other top drivers in other series as well. It shows them where they are. It shows them where they maybe they want to improve, maybe where they could pick up a little bit of time on track and just make them that much better. And that's what these top tier drivers do, ladies and gentlemen. They watch, they learn from other top tier drivers. And I don't doubt for a second that we're going to see a lot of these drivers reviewing these replays over the next coming weeks and breaking down some of these drivers' races and seeing maybe where they're a little bit weaker than that driver in a certain sector so they can find that extra time.
But I think as well, also the drivers need a little bit of credit. You got Badass there trying to make move on Lone Wolf Racing MacMillan, but MacMillan there does tuck in on the inside, show his defensive line. But no, as I was saying then, I think what everybody don't understand is these events, they are ruled events, and they go quite in depth. They are stewarded, and you know there are certain rules and regulations that these drivers need to stick to. And the way that these lobbies are formed on GT7, we're probably going to be coming into one more lap of this as well. But the way these lobbies are formed in GT7, we've kind of thrown this event together at lastminute.com, so I don't get copyrighted. But to say that these drivers knew exactly what to do and how we handle the lobby situation that GT7 has thrown at us is another massive credit to the drivers. They do sit there, they do listen to the rules, and you know, they do adhere to the rules as well. And it's a massive another shout out to these drivers now. But we are going into the final lap now. We've got 29 minutes 20 seconds going in. We're Arcadia West now in 5th. I'll let you take over now, bros.
All right. Well, we are on board with our race leader Spec right now as he's coming through into turn 3 here. Again, this is this really tough mid-high speed sweeping corner here, and you can see Spec really tuck it tight to the curb, take that nice wide line on the power, gets around that next corner, and then coming into the hairpin sector here, Interlagos, the middle section. We're just going to move through the field here. We're going to see if we can find any quick little battles. Cartier sitting in 4th, Millerman in 5th. We got Badass just behind Millerman, so we might maybe see a little bit of action between Badass and Millerman here right at the end of this race. And the rest of the drivers have kind of filtered out a little bit here, so let's stick with our race leader. Let's jump on board with him here as he's coming around the final few corners. We'll give Spec his camera time that he so truly does deserve for this race. He's absolutely been on point.
Man, and Badass tried making a move there, but he ate a little bit of curb and he got a little bit of oversteer there, and he just got back on the brake and he's just tucked him back behind Millerman there. He's going through that long sweeping left hand camber corner, and you know, it's all going on now. Lone Wolf Racing and Millerman and Badass. I do apologise for that, but Badass did try and make a move and he's going to try and do it again. The side by side, is he going to manage to hold him off? But Lone Wolf Racing Millerman does keep it nice and tight, but if Badass can get a nice exit out of this last turn, then he may gain himself a final 5th position over Lone Wolf Racing Millerman.
I missed Spec crossing the line. All right, Spec with the win, guys, ladies and gentlemen. I left spectator mode just as he crossed the line there. We got Jake coming across in 3rd place there. We got Marge coming across. Another great race finish in 3rd place there. Cartier West in 4th.
He's on him. Side
by side. Millerman is going to get it done. Woo! Millerman with the drag race with Badass. He manages just to get ahead the Badass by a splitter there. Great job by those two drivers. You can see them side by side, probably fist pumping each other right now, going, that was awesome, man. We got Green Mamba coming into 8th place here. Tattooed in 10th. We've got Vroom Vroom coming around here in 11th place as well. And then we see Vantage retiring out in 12th place and LJ in 13th. And of course, we did have 2 drivers disconnect very early on with Blitzberger and can't remember who the other driver was now. Starts with Miggins. Yes, so really unfortunate there for those 2 guys. But congratulations to Spec on the race win. Or LJ, sorry. LJ won? Yeah, no, LJ was in the pits. It's just a glitch. It's all good.
Get the drivers to type the positions in now. Where they finished. And then we can work it out.
No, Cartier just bounced out there, so. Cartier was 4th place. March was 3rd.
Oh, one minute.
Jake,
I got first, which is Spec.
And then Jake.
Jake got 2nd. Let me just find him.
Ooh.
2nd.
I have photo and video proof. I got the dub. Were you on track, LJ? What the? You were in the pits for the last, like, 6 or 7 laps of the race, my guy. I got the proof, he goes.
So everybody on track?
We'll have to review that replay. He was sitting in the pits. It just, for some reason, when everybody crossed the line, it said that he won the race for some reason. So it's a timing thing. We will review, obviously we'll review and steward the races too, ladies and gentlemen, before we make everything official. So there's definitely a couple things that we're going to have to go take a look at. So, and the main thing being the finish lineup, obviously. So, it was Spec 1 and Jake and George Marge for first, second, and third, from what I could see on my screen. And of course, and then we had Cartier West just behind in fourth place, and then it would have been Miller Man and Badass, and I lost track from there. We got Tattooed says 10th, Vroom Room says 11th, Vantage says 12th.
Where did Badass get?
I think he put it up in the chat there too. I'm just looking. I'm backtracking here. Millerman 5th, Green Mamba said 8th. Where'd you get Badass? What place did you finish Badass? We got, let's go RR, LJ1 says Chad. I got the dub says LJ. I have photo and video proof. We got a stream proof, my man. Ian Travers says well done all. GG says Chris.
Badass and Egon.
Badass and Egon, where'd you guys finish up? Well, Badass finished right behind Millerman. They drag raced to the finish line, so he's right behind Millerman.
Badass right behind Miller. So we got 6th. And then Egon. He must have got 11th.
Must have. I don't see. He's not in chat right now, so. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was two pretty crazy races, chat. I don't know what to say there. I'm sweating to start with. That's how good the action was. We got Vic coming in with the thumbs up, Stephanie with the thumbs up, and LJ with the thumbs up as well. Oscar with the thumbs up and the share. Much love, everybody coming in and just smashing those reactions and shares today. You guys are serious legends out there, and I really hope you enjoyed this DMJ versus DMJ race. What was that?
I need Egon's position.
Egon, where are you, bro?
Must have been 9th. Yeah, he was 9th.
He's the only one I didn't see, so.
Yeah, he was 9th. He must have been 9th.
So this will. These will be an
I've got it all.
Unofficial tally, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, we'll want to make sure that we're 100% right on everything before we do make it 100% official. So we will review.
I'm out now.
Yeah. Okay. And I will see if I can verify with Egon here.
12 points.
Well, you know, it does say LJ won, and it says LJ won by 0.193 seconds. So LJ's got a list here. So George Marge 4, Cartier 5, Millerman, Badass, Green Mamba, Egon was behind Green Mamba, and then it was Tattooed Freak, Vroom Vroom, Vantage. Were you was LJ on track? Can the drivers verify? Rockefeller for the win. GG chaps, thank you for putting it on. It was definitely a blast, says Jake. GG for the top comms, D-Dot and GT45, says Ian. Much love, you guys. You know what, though? The comms are only as good as the drivers produce on the racetrack. You know, massive shout-out to the North American and the United Kingdom drivers over here at DMJ. Seriously, top standard drivers. On track with much respect, a ton of class. They're really quick, they're really clean, and they put on two really fantastic races here for us today. We put them in uncomfortable conditions with Interlagos and, of course, Trial Mountain. Changing track conditions, of course, with this awesome progressive time that we have here in the game. So the track conditions were constantly changing for these drivers throughout both races, right from start to finish. Tires... the tires weren't gripping on the road maybe necessarily as bad at better times as other, because the cloud was coming over and blocking the sun, so the track was cooling down by a couple degrees. When it started to get nighttime at Trial Mountain, that most certainly affected the track times by the drivers, and of course the traction on the road, because the sun's not beating and heating up that pavement anymore. And of course, here at Interlagos, just with the sun and cloud constantly moving around over the racetrack, is going to change it up a little bit. So these drivers did not have it easy today. So huge shout out to the drivers today, going out there, really put it all on the line for DMJ. And it was just
Britain's score. I know the Britain's tally now.
Okay.
Working out the North American ones now. So
he was still on track. Yeah, I checked it, LJ. We do need to review the last race. The drivers are saying it was a pit glitch. LJ was actually on track, and he did win the race.
He did, so
yep.
I'll add that then.
Yep.
So, who said first? So, I need to recalculate it then, so everyone's a position behind, aren't they?
Yep, so LJ was first, and everybody's a position behind. Just bear with us, chat, bear with us. This is a first style of event like this on GT7. Again, we have kinks to work out, so... at the same time of bringing this amazing event to you guys, we're also using it to test out everything that this game is capable to allow us to do with these series and events as well here at DMJ. So this is a really great learning experience, not only for the drivers, but also for all the officials, everybody behind the scenes, the commentators, everybody involved with DMJ as partners, the broadcasters, D-Dot, myself, and of course all the drivers. So we all have definitely gotten a lot of information from the races here today as well, that we can take and put towards upcoming seasons, upcoming series and events moving forward into GT7 with DMJ. So lots of information for us today, which is fantastic as well. So, but huge shout out to the drivers. They did a fantastic job. And like D-Dot said, this event got thrown together in a very quick amount of time. It was put together very well. Very solid, of course, always on a based off the DMJ rule set, which did make things simple for the drivers as far as understanding what the rules of the event was. They came in on track. They didn't go and run laps like they weren't supposed to. You know, they followed the qualifying rules. It was just, they were spot on. And when you have drivers that make it easy as host of the leagues and the series coordinators, you know, it just makes it that much more fun for everybody. So huge shout out to the drivers, huge shout out to DMJ and his partners, everybody behind the scenes. None of this goes on without all these guys taking hours and hours of their own personal time at home, ladies and gentlemen, testing tracks, testing cars, testing rain settings, testing weather settings, testing tire settings, testing everything about the game to try and get these events put into place. So just a huge shout out to everybody behind the scenes as well. I know it's not easy, and I appreciate all the work that comes across because these events are just amazing. And I'm really, really honored to be a part of this, and I can't wait to see what Season 2 is going to bring, ladies and gentlemen. So stay tuned for more information as far as North America Division Season 2 goes. We should hopefully have a post for you guys, something a little more solid in a couple of weeks. Once I have my moving situation sorted out, we'll have Season 2 announcement on when Season 2 is expected for Choose Your Weapon. So, yeah, we have the replays too, LJ. No big deal, brother. We're just making the adjustment. So we've learned sometimes you can't trust what we're seeing on screen too. It did show us that North American driver LJ was in the pit lane, but he was actually on track. We've seen that in GT Sport during a DMJ race here on the North America side as well, where
where did Cardia come?
He came in behind George, so it would be fifth. Yeah. So yeah, fantastic stuff, man. These drivers, for 2 weeks, these drivers have been just talking about this. They've been excited about this. I hope they're just buzzing right now in the drivers' chat on both sides. It was a great event. These drivers did a fantastic job representing the respective divisions or respective leagues, and of course themselves, their race teams. Some of these guys do drive for teams. And of course the league itself, DMJ Vroom Room. So man, just great job by the drivers. The fans, you guys came out in drones today. It was amazing. We love to see that. The chats were just popping off all day long. You guys were showing so much love to these drivers. Thank you everybody showing the love to MacMillan Cancer Support today too. MacMillan Cancer Support super appreciates it. We super appreciate it. And everybody that donated today, you've helped change somebody's life. So I hope you're smiling today because you've done your small act of kindness. I know GT45 Gaming at the end of every broadcast always challenges all its viewers to take the time to do even the smallest act of kindness. Maybe it's just helping an elderly person step over a sidewalk across the street, or maybe it's just holding a door open for a mother with a couple of children. Anything like that can make somebody's day, ladies and gentlemen. And by you guys going ahead and donating MacMillan Cancer Support today, you people that have donated have done exactly that. You've put a smile on some family's face. You've given them a little bit of hope, a little bit of glimmer in a very, very hard battle that they're going through as a family. So thank you very much, everybody. I really, really do appreciate it. Cancer research means a lot to me on a personal level. I've lost several family and several close friends to the disease myself, so it means so much to me to see you guys coming in and showing that mega support for MacMillan Cancer Support, and just so much respect, you guys. I absolutely love it. And of course, everybody just coming in and hanging out with us, tuning in, hitting those reactions, those shares. And you guys are legends, day in and day out, showing that support over here to D-Dot, GT45, and DMJ Vroom Room. Man, so much love out there, you guys. It's humbling. It really, really is to see the support that you guys continue to show all the time.
I just want to say, I can see everybody coming in with reactions on my stream, stars and everything like that. You're absolute legend. Scott Dobson coming in with like the shares, Ian as well. But I must say,
Yeah,
I'm absolutely feeling the pressure right now trying to add these points up. I'm sweating now working this out, making sure I get it right. So just bear with me, chat, and listen, I just want to say we will be opening a lobby after this as well. I'm not going anywhere. The stream's not shutting down. I'm going to open a lobby, and if you want to jump in and join, you're free to do that. But just give me 2 minutes to work out the North American points now. I've rejigged the right positions around. Everyone's back in the right place. I've now reworked out the points, and I'm going to do it again for this one now for North America. So just give me 5 minutes, and we will have the final outcome of who's got the most points. So 2 seconds, chat.
Yeah, and we're just gonna go throw that Corvette up in the pit lane there, and give you guys a little bit of a different visual here while we get that sorted out. And of course, when we're doing anything with live points tallies, when it does take a little while to sort all that out, especially when we don't get our lineup at the end of the race like we are used to, right? So we've had to do a little bit of jumbling around. We've had to do a little bit of adjusting on the fly, so to speak. But that's what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen. Creators, that's half our job, is adjusting on the fly. So D-Dot is on it. He will have those numbers for us shortly. Joe's coming in. Good job, man, to you and the ever-amazing D-Dot. You absolute legends. Much love, Joe, man. We appreciate you, brother, for real.
Appreciate you guys. Legends, man.
Absolutely. Everybody coming in. I am so exhausted from this race. These guys did such a great job. The hype that's been going all morning has just absolutely wore me out, ladies and gentlemen. It's absolutely incredible just to see the companionship here in the drivers. So hopefully these guys, build a nice, good, strong bond over this. We're definitely going to see probably most of these drivers back moving into the next season and the next set of series coming. So get your fan favorites and keep your eyes open for the announcements over on the socials, whether it be through D-Dot, whether it be through GT45 Gaming, or whether it be through DMJ Vroom Room. All the socials will have all the information for all the upcoming events and series and seasons coming, ladies and gentlemen. So if you're wondering what's up on the list, just go check it out. We have the website posted in the GT45 Gaming comments as a pinned comment, www.dmjvroomroom.com. Go check it out. Great website over there. They also have great forums on Fanatec and GT Omega equipment. They also have a lot of stuff relating to ACC over there at DMJ Vroom Room website as well, ladies and gentlemen. So they have a ton to offer. Make sure you guys go check them out. Tell them GT45 Gaming sent you. Say hi. Show them a little bit of love, guys. That's what it's all about.
Just working it out now, bro.
I'm sweating like beads. This is crazy. That action was great, man. Woo!
I hope my reaction didn't give away when I tally this score up.
I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be close.
You think?
Well, I mean, we did have some DNFs, unfortunately, but I still think it was. I think it was good. I think it was good. And it was a little bit on the higher side of the finishing position, I guess, in race 2. But I don't know. I thought it was. I felt like it was going to be close. I really did.
Yeah, I felt like it was going to be close, but the tally is in, ladies and gentlemen. I have now worked out the point system. We've had a point system in place for every position going. So what I've done is, after each race, I wrote the driver's position down. I then tallied up the points from what the drivers get given. So going into this, then the UK drivers at DMJ Vroom Room managed to get 158 points. Obviously, we saw DMJ Vroom Room there, the UK side. We did have drivers disconnect, unfortunately. We had 2. on race 2 disconnect. So, you know, big loss on points there. Obviously, DNFs, you can't give them points. So they did get a tally of 158 points. So going into this then, guys, this is the moment we've all been waiting for. The North American results are in. Obviously, I just need to spill the beans. I'm just dragging it out and prolonging the inevitable. But no, before we say these points, massive shout out. Appreciate your spec. But now, before we do call these final scores out and we find out a winner of the North American over the pond CVC is what we're going to call it.
I love it. I do love it.
I just want to say once again a final shout out to each and every single person that takes part in any DMJ Room event, whether it be people watching, chatting at home, liking, sharing, donating to MacMillan Support. Massive shout out as well to Lone Wolf Racing Design and DMJ Room as well. But Lone Wolf Racing Design does put a hell of a lot of work in as well. He doesn't get enough shout outs. We all know DMJ Room is the front and the forefront of all this, but let me tell you something, Lone Wolf Racing Design, he creates mega liveries and championship. Without him, DMJ Room would definitely have a cog missing as well. So, you know, it's fantastic to see what we can do as we come together as a team, as a community, as a family. But like I said, now I am going to read out the points. So 158 points for the UK drivers, and the North American drivers, fantastic racing by them guys throughout this event. Good ethos as well, fantastic in the choose your weapon. But they come out with a mega 249 points.
Ooh. And so, now, keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, if we didn't have the 3 DNF disconnections on the UK side, that number would be quite different. It would be much closer.
I think it would be different, but you know, LJ got first twice, so that those add the tally there. There's 60 points there to be made, and then obviously he did get pole position, so it's another 2 points there, and you know it does tally up, especially when you've got teammates as well finishing in like 4th and 3rd, or you know 4th and 5th. Together they're gathering them points, and you know over the course of the 2 races as well. You know, some fantastic battling that went on.
Absolutely.
Some fantastic battling that went on.
You know, we've seen lots of great moves. We've seen lots of great battles. We've seen lots of great teamwork, not only from teammates, but also from competitors as well. Yeah. You know, even when teammates got separated apart from each other, and a North American or a UK driver got up on the other driver, realizing that they're far behind the pack, opting to work together just to get back on the pack so they can try and gain those positions. That's what you expect to see in a race of this caliber, ladies and gentlemen. You expect to see these guys adapt to the situation that they're placed in at the moment it's happening, and we've seen a lot of that. And of course, we've seen some spins and we've seen some incidents. You're going to see that in racing, ladies and gentlemen. You can't tell me a real live race in real life that you go and watch where you don't see cars rubbing door handles, guys spinning out, you know, guys getting into each other. It happens. It's racing. But the respect on track was phenomenal.
Yeah. I think, though, to be fair, I think the driver of this event for me would possibly have to be Cardia. For the simple fact being is we saw him get that early damage in race 1 and he came back and he made some positions.
He did.
Going into race 2, he did really well in qualifying, but at the start of the second start of the race, he opted to pull over and surrender a few positions to all drivers, not just his teammates, but to all drivers. And he did really well to pull it back, and he did some really good driving throughout this event. So for me, the driver of the day would be Cardia as well. So massive shout out to Cardia, and I know Spec and LJ, you know, I know them two did gather a nice clear distance. We pointed that out during the actual event in itself, and we paid homage to that, you know, respect where respect is given. But I think overall, with the spirit and the ethos and everything that comes to play with Cardia in tonight's events, for me, I mean, if anybody wants to correct me and give it to somebody else, then feel free to shout out. But for me, Cardia gets definitely the driver of the day.
No, and that's a great shout out. I mean, you're not wrong. That is probably the ultimate act of sportsmanship right there, knowing that he's not in the starting position that he earned in qualifying and opting to get out of the way and let the pack go by and tuck into his proper position. I don't disagree one at all there. I think that's a great call out by D-Dot. And I mean, if I had to pick one over on the UK side, to me, I'm really torn between Marge and Millerman. I think Millerman performed exceptionally today. I think that he really had the desire for this event. I think he was really excited for this event. I seen him practicing throughout the week for this event, and I think he had a really strong set of races today. So I think if I were going to have to give one to each side, I definitely agree with Cartier on the NA side, but I think I'd have to give it to Mr. Millerman on the UK side. He drove well, he defended well, he qualified well, and he just looked really solid for Team United Kingdom here today. So my shout out definitely goes to Millerman on the UK side. I think as far as the driver of the day goes, if we have to pick one, I think we should pick one for each side, as obviously both divisions are more than deserving to be showcased here today. So my shout out definitely goes to Millerman. I thought he had an exceptional set of races. And we know George Marge is a fantastic racer as well. It was a really tough call for me there, but I think Millerman just did a really fantastic job today.
Yeah, and to be honest though, as well, I think there were plenty of drivers that possibly potentially could have got driver of the day. I mean, you know, you look at the likes of Britsberger as well in race one. He did really well, battling it out. Unfortunately, disconnected. You had Miggins. We all know Miggins, the Punisher. He disconnected in race two as well. He could have had a really strong performance in there if mishaps wouldn't have happened, and you know he didn't lag out and stuff.
And Vantage as well too.
Vantage,
I mean,
yeah.
You go down the list and it's really hard to pick one, I guess.
You've got something to mention about every single driver. So you know, to sit here and be able to say that every single driver's had an impact on the races today, and I mean, it looks like a fairly big gap there, 249 points, 158. But when you come in and you watch how drivers have performed, these little errors are costing drivers big time now with the new effects that GT7 has to offer. I'm talking little knocks, going off track, the back end, you know, getting a bit of oversteer, then all of a sudden, boom, grabs traction and it catches you out, and you're flinging your car across track, getting eaten up by a hungry wall. You know, it's
getting chewed up and spit out by a big curb. You know, there's so many things. So many
factors, and I think each driver held their own in their own rights tonight, and I cannot wait for these lobbies to get sorted. As Specs just come in chat now and he says, you know, the lobbies definitely need to get sorted for us to be able to perform. But I also believe that the drivers as well, everybody at GT7 probably is not up to their usual standard as far as sim racing goes.
I agree with you on that.
Give it a little bit of time. Give the guys and girls and racers of all ages the time and patience to learn the track. Me included, I'm struggling on GT7. Just give the time, patience, and I do believe with the effects that GT have got and the realism of the sim racing side of it now, we are going to have some hell of a lot of good championships going on.
We got some good ones coming. Definitely. And
like,
ladies and gentlemen, you know, you guys come in and you watch these races all the time. You want to race league races? Don't be scared to jump in and race in these leagues. The best thing to do for you to learn how to get faster and better at sim racing is to be a part of a league. And the biggest reason why I say that is because the leagues are more than just a competition. The leagues are a bonding. They're a family. They're a community. And these drivers develop personal relationships, personal friendships, personal bonds throughout these leagues. And these drivers will take the time out of their day to put you on track with them and help you get faster. You know, help you find that line, whatever the case is. So if you've been sitting there on the fence about joining a league and you just don't think that you're fast enough to join the league, I don't think like that at all, ladies and gentlemen. Get on track, try it out. What's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to get some amazing experience. You're going to meet some really great people, and you're just gonna get better day by day every time you're turning laps. So upcoming series are coming, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned to the socials. We're going to be looking for those drivers to come in and fill our championships here again, moving forward. So you know, if you've been sitting there thinking about it, if you're on the fence, you don't have to be the fastest driver in the world to come and enjoy league racing. Come be a part of it. Come enjoy yourself. Come have some fun with these guys. By the end of the season, you'll see improvement. I promise it.
That's the most beneficial thing about it. So I mean, like, I'm a streamer that's come from playing FPS shooters, Call of Duty and stuff like that. Paul Twig coming in, GT is not a game, it's a way of life. It certainly is, Mr. Trigger.
Amen.
But I've come from playing stuff like Call of Duty and, you know, stuff like that, and where you can actually sit there and blame the game for something that's happened within the game. But when you come to a game like GT Sports or GT7, the only mistakes that are made are your mistakes. The only person you can blame is you for the mistake that is made on the track. And when you start to see progress and you actually start to see not only your times getting better and better, but you're actually starting to keep up, then you start competing with faster drivers and you're physically actually seeing this. Other drivers are actually physically seeing this. My gosh, is that a big ego boost?
Yeah, for sure.
Big confidence boost, and you start seeing it, and just that desired effect that has on you as a person as well. It can motivate you to do a lot of things.
Well, I mean, I've got a really good example of that. I raced a series just a few months ago. It was a 10-week series. I started off really well, had a really bad mid-season, knocked myself completely off the podium for the season, almost gave up, ladies and gentlemen. I was going to give up. My community stepped in and told me, no, man, you can't do that. Show these guys what's up. Get back on track.
I would have done. I'd have messaged you and said, what are you doing, you nugget?
So we got back on track. We practiced even harder, and we ended up finishing 3rd overall in the season. So, you know,
Wow.
At the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, it's not even about finishing 3rd overall in the season. At the end of the day, I sit back and look back at that season and know that I learned so much. I got a little bit faster on every one of those racetracks with every one of those cars we had to drive. And moving forward now into future races with those kinds of setups and combos, I can be confident in knowing that I can compete and do well. And that's what I took away from the season. I can do this, I can get better, I can get faster, and I can beat these guys. That's what I get out of that season. We faced some really big adversity. We took it face on. And at the end of the day, we had some fun. We had a good result. But at the end of the day, we learned a very valuable lesson. And that's just to never give up. Because if you don't give up, you're going to improve. You might not see it immediately, but it will happen over time.
You learn. You got to make the mistakes to learn from them. And it's the same way of everyday life. Listen, you're going to make mistakes. But don't be scared to make mistakes. If you're scared to make mistakes, you'll never know. You'll live a what-if life.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And it's the same with racing, man. You got to believe in yourself. If not you, then who? Right?
Absolutely. And then we went into our first official league race last weekend on GT7. I'm struggling with GT7 as well, ladies and gentlemen. The physics changed, you know, the way the cars feel, the body roll, just everything about the game is so realistic. You really have to make the adjustment from GT Sport to GT7. You got to basically unlearn how to play GT Sport to really properly play GT7 is the best way I could explain it. And we had 2 really solid races because we just went in there knowing that we can do this, and we just need to be patient and hit our marks, and we ended up with 2 good results there as well. So, yeah, don't be scared to jump into leagues, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely do not be scared. Just because there's a couple of really quick guys in there doesn't mean you can't come in and have a whole lot of fun and just make some really good friends.
That's it. I mean, like I say, I just want to say as well, massive congratulations to the North American drivers. Great ambassadors for DMJ Vroom Vroom and the championships that we held. And, you know, great work, GT.
Hey,
great work.
Thank you for the. I mean, obviously, thank you, DMJ, for the opportunity. I'm absolutely thrilled when they decided to allow me to present this series over here in North America, and boy, the drivers responded. And I mean, it's the buzz around the Discord. It's the buzz outside the Discord. I've got lots of interest in the season too, so I can't wait to see what we got. So.
It's gonna be epic next one. Can't wait.
Me neither. But it is what it is.
Lobby open, bro. I don't know if you'll be. There's 15 people in.
No, I'm going to. I got to shut down. I got to get ready for an ACC broadcast tomorrow, so I got to start preparing for that. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Learn to adapt, not like the dinosaurs. Dinosaurs didn't have a choice, mate. They got wiped clean out, bro.
Yeah.
They got wiped clean out, bro.
They didn't stand a chance, them poor guys.
They didn't stand a chance, man. They didn't even have a say in it.
But yeah, congratulations, of course, to DMJ Vroom Vroom United Kingdom. They put on an amazing race. Their cars looked spectacular. Mr. Millerman Tattooed wants to know how you get that rip flag effect on the cars, so maybe hit him up if you want to tell him. And of course, big shout out to Tattooed for the livery designs, of course, for the North American side, and congratulations to the North American drivers for taking Challenge 1. So, Over the Pond Challenge Round 2 will be after the next set of seasons, of course, ladies and gentlemen. So expect to see that happening again. And we'll see what...
Keep an eye out for the release dates, sign-up dates.
That's right. We'll see what DMJ has in store for the next one. I'm sure they're only going to be more epic and more bolder. The drivers are seeing this now. They're going, wait a minute, I want in on that. So the seasons, the championships, everything's just going to be absolutely that much more top level now. So, yeah. The desire from these drivers over at DMJ is incredible. They want to win. They want to race. And it just makes for great action on track when you have a bunch of drivers like that. So what else can we say? DMJ is taking over the sim racing, ladies and gentlemen. Watch out, baby. We coming.
Yeah, we ain't going anywhere. We're just getting started, man.
That's right.
Told you we're only just getting started, and like I say, I'm going to be creating some events for Saturdays as well, with a DDR fan. Everybody's welcome to take part in that. You don't have to be DDR. Obviously, DDR drivers will get first dibs in it if there's any positions open there. Then obviously, we'll publicise that. So keep an eye out for that, because I'll be letting GT45 know about it. So.
And we'll be bringing our community in to take part in that too. I think we might be maybe get a little bit of fun Saturdays going with the GT45 DDOT communities. You know, have a little fun racing against each other or something.
Well, you know, straight off the bat, something that's just come to my head right now. I could run a championship race. You could run a championship race, and the top 7 drivers from each race every week go and face off your guys against my guys.
Yeah. See, look at the great ideas that come out of these beautiful redheads. I tell you. Great stuff, great stuff. But yeah, stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. Always make sure you're keeping an eye on those socials, because you never know what's coming up. So, but I will let you continue on with what you got going on there, my man. Thank you so much for being in the box with me. I'm sure that the track builders are going to have to do a little bit of work to get them back up to standards, as we tore the roof down on those bad boys today. And the drivers just absolutely shredding those racetracks. So those track officials are going to be working hard to get those racetracks ready for the next set of guys to come on. Great job by all the DMJ drivers, the best of the best. Did exactly what we expected to see him do and put on an amazing show today. And just huge shout out to everybody involved. It was a great time. And thanks so much for coming out and hanging out with us today. Appreciate everybody.
Yeah, appreciate it. And yeah, we've got Cat and Mouse coming as well. We've still got that coming.
Ooh,
Stanford's
yeah.
got that.
Yes, that's a fun event.
So that'll be fun. We'll have to pull you in for that as well, GT.
All right. Well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Well, you heard it from the man himself. D to the dot, 90, ladies and gentlemen. Absolute legend and an inspiration for GT45 gaming. So you keep doing what you're doing, man. And I'll be there by your side to continue creating great content right beside you, my man.
My guy. We love it, bro. This is why we do it, right?
Absolutely. All right, chat. Everybody over on DDOT, love you all so much. I may even see you in the chat here in a few minutes, but I do got to continue on with unfortunately, with the program here. I got to get ready for the next gigs. So I love you guys. I'm going to shut down the stream on my end. Go get in DDOT's lobby. Go race, guys. Go get on track with some of these guys. Go test your metal against some of these guys. And just go have some fun. It's a great time over there in the DDOT lobbies. I pop in when I can. So happy racing, everybody. Happy racing.
Appreciate it, bro. You take care, my guy, and good luck on the on your ACC lobby.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, bye.
All right, mate.
Bro.
Cheers.
See you later. See you soon, mate. Bye.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So there we have it. The D to the dot. What an absolutely great event. I'm exhausted. These guys put on a great show, man. And I'm a commentator. I know I'm a completely neutral party here, but I got to tell you, awfully proud of them NA boys today. Almost brings a tear to my eye. Just to see the camaraderie and the teamwork coming from these guys, the amount of work they put into this event as a team, even though they're competitors on track during the series, is humbling. These guys are fantastic, and I appreciate everything that they've done for the league, the series. Massive shout out to you guys. Much love to NA, and congratulations, you guys. What a great job. UK, man, great job. Great fight out there. If those 3 drivers would have stayed in the race, man, those points were going to be close, guys. Stay tuned. We got more coming. We do have I'm going to let go of a little bit of a teaser here now. We do have a charity event coming June 11th is tentative scheduled date for this. I haven't made it official quite yet. We're still sorting out a few details as far as the race combos goes and how we're going to operate everything. But we do have an event coming June 11th. That event is going to be a DMJ event. They have jumped on board with this. They've left me at the helm of this event. So we're going to be taking it on. We're going to be doing what we did today. You know, we're going to come up. We're going to customize it. We're going to bring it to them. Make sure that they like everything, the rule sets and everything that goes on there. Once they get that sorted out, we will make an official announcement on what's going on for June 11th. And you guys thought this was epic. This next one's going to be epic as well. DMJ is coming in loud and proud in 2022, baby. And don't miss it, because this is going to be something else. I don't want to say anything more than that right now, But DMJ in cooperation with GT45 Gaming and D-Dot Racing and a couple other leagues are putting something together for June. So a little bit of a teaser coming. So again, pay attention to the socials, ladies and gentlemen. The only way you're going to hear it first is to be in those socials. Whether it be the DMJ Vroom Vroom Facebook page, their website, whether it be D.90's Facebook page, his groups, his stream, whether it be my page, my groups, or my stream, or my Discord server, it will be released in all those places. So if you don't want to miss the announcements, you don't want to miss registration for an event, you definitely want to be paying attention to the socials. We raised a pretty significant amount of money for MacMillan Cancer Support today. You guys are legends. We love you so much for it. It means even more to us as creators, as broadcasters, as event organizers, when you guys step up, even more so than just coming in and showing the support, but also showing support for the charity that we are representing. And you guys just killed it today for MacMillan Cancer Support, so I love all of you guys for that as well. Showing that support with the likes and shares, seriously, you guys just lit everything up today. Chat was on fire on both pages. I couldn't even keep up with it. It was insane. We got Dadan coming in with the thumbs up as well. If I mispronounced it, I do apologize, my man, so much. A little bit of confuffle going on there for race 2, but we got it sorted. We did have some glitching, so there's definitely some stuff that the game needs to sort out. So like I said, we've taken a lot of information from this event today, and we can attribute that information moving forward with DMJ as well. So, you know, just, you guys, much love, man. Thank you so much for being here. What a journey. These DMJ guys are fantastic. They bring us amazing series. They bring us great events. The car track combos are phenomenal. Delivery designers are phenomenal. These cars come out looking better than professional. I just don't know what else to say. The graphics, everything that's provided is just phenomenal. On behalf of GT45 Gaming, my community, of course, DMJ Vroom Room, D-Dot Racing, and both our communities, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for showing your support during this amazing event. This was an all-star race on steroids, essentially, is what just happened here today. And it was a lot of fun. And I'm going to go jump in with my North America guys and personally go congratulate them, obviously. I want to shut the stream down because I'm pretty happy about the result, obviously. But it was just a great event. I'm most happy for DMJ Vroom Room. I'm most happy for his partners, Fanatec, GT Omega, LWR Design, DDR Racing, ladies and gentlemen. Huge shout out to all of these guys. They're all a major part of what happens here. And of course, the biggest shout out goes to you guys, the viewers, the race car fans, the streamer fans out there. Much love, you guys. You guys just killed it out there today. You made a great event epic. And I can't wait for the next one. I really, really can't wait for the next one. So we won't be live any further here tonight. Again, like I said, I do have another gig that I need to prepare for tomorrow. So we'll be live tomorrow, tentatively, for an ACC broadcast. And yeah, we'll see you guys soon. So most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, like GT45 Gaming always does, I always challenge everybody, do a small act of kindness. Even the smallest act of kindness. Buying a child a 5-cent candy at a store, or opening a door for a mother with 2 children who's trying to get in somewhere, or helping an elderly person cross the street, or buying somebody that kind of, is a couple dollars short something, and you're gonna make their day. You're gonna put a smile on their face. You're gonna give them a little bit of hope and humanity, and that makes a big difference in people's lives, ladies and gentlemen. It really, really does. I needed hope and humanity when I started streaming. You guys gave me that hope. You guys are the reason why we are where we are right now. You guys are the reason we have amazing events this way. Amazing events to be able to bring to you guys. This is because of you guys. You guys have rejuvenated me. You've rejuvenated my soul. And I appreciate that. And in return, I'm going to do as much as I can to give back to all you amazing women and men out there in the world. So thank you so much for tuning in. One act of kindness every day if you get the chance. I understand that there's not always the opportunity there to do it, but if you do get the opportunity, jump on it. You can change somebody's life. And most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, stay winning, because that is the most important thing. Your life matters, you matter, and you being happy matters the most. So stay winning, stay positive, keep a good attitude, and thank you so much for tuning in. I love all of you. Peace and love, and we'll see you next broadcast.